just me. It's just me all by my lonesome tonight. I know. I said I did put out a message on our community tab saying no Babylon. Yet here we are. Here we are. Sometimes that happens though, where we think we're not going to have one. Uh, my kid had a baseball game rescheduled for tonight. There was like a makeup game, so I was like, "Oh well, okay." We already were planning on doing it tonight, and then Nick is like really sick, and then my kid had a baseball game rescheduled for tonight, so I was like, "Well, we're just not gonna be able to have it tonight." But then have his team had other plans, which really aggravated me because I'm like, "Look, you committed to the team, like, bro, you committed for your kid to be there, like, and now we have to forfeit a game." So no game tonight. So the wife and I sat down with the kid and watched Venom #1. Tomorrow we're gonna watch Venom 2 in theaters. Hopefully, we'll see. And so I was like, well, since we're not having a game tonight, maybe I'll just go live for a little bit. So I don't know if anybody's gonna join me. Um, Sent the link out to Justin, so I know he's dealing with two little girls at the house. He's got little youngins, so um, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I don't know that I'll go for very long. We'll just have to see what happens. I do see some people in the chat. So Blue Hellion says, "What's going on, man? New channel. All right, Dan the Man has a channel out here, y'all. So you guys can go check out Blue Hellion Comics on YouTube. Did his first live stream the other night. That was cool. Tonight on Two Brothers Comics, we're going to come to a climactic conclusion that Dustin is cooler than he thinks he is. Is that possible? I don't know. Maybe in another dimension that's possible. We'll see. Nick is really the wild one. Nah. There's no way. No way that one could actually be true. And Justin is the most beloved part of the channel. That might be true. I don't know. Toadman X, what's going on? Sovic, what's going on? James, what's going on, bro? Another new channel in the community. Zorobinski Pulp Media, what's going on, bro? Did his first live stream the other day. He's got a couple of intros he's working on. Those look pretty cool. So go check him out. Thanks for jumping on, Thomas. Appreciate you, man. Let's get funky like a monkey pumpkin head. Right on. Ahoy. What's up, Cat? What's going on? Hope you're doing well, brother. You and Tori. Enjoyed watching you guys' unboxing the other day. That Ghost Rider 3 was pretty sick, dude. So, right on. Good to see you hanging out. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. As long as he doesn't go to the hospital, I think he'll be okay. That's what I told him. Austin LeMay, what's going on, man? What are you doing, Austin? What do you got going on? You just hanging out, man? You just hanging out? What's up, Joe? What's going on? How are you? How are you? Right? Right? Sorobinski Pulp Media. Just right off the tongue. Right off the tongue. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you guys what it is because you're gonna have to watch the video when I open it, but about 20 minutes prior to this stream starting, I bought a big book. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? How many times am I gonna say, all right, this is the last big book I'm gonna buy? And then but seriously, everybody would have bought this book for this price. Like, there's no way. No way you could have not bought this book for the price I bought it for. So kind of had to. And I don't think anybody will blame me when I get it in and I show you guys what it is and I tell you what I paid for it, everybody's gonna be like, "What? All right, all right, all right. Yeah, yeah. We agree. You had to buy it." So, also, May has an exclusive cover coming soon. What? That's awesome, dude. Awesome. Congratulations on that, man. Kyle, what's going on, bro? That's right. That's right. We got the first women's hunt championship match coming up this coming Friday. No, 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 no. But I had to. Panda, what's going on, man? I sent you an Instagram message. I was trying to see if you wanted to come on here and hang out with me, and you just ghost me, bro. You ghost me. I hit up you and I hit up Steve. Steve's eating Mexican with the family. I told him to put that in a to-go box and go to the house and jump on here. And then I hit you up on IG and you didn't answer me. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on, Panda. I'm trying to get you to come on here and hang out, and you're just no. All right then. All right then. um. So I did go to the LCS today. Did a little digging. Picked up a few things. Nothing like nothing big at the LCS. I've been doing the whatnot stuff. So um, now I have. Hold on. Do. Uh, let's see. How do I do this? Let's see. Let's do this. Give me just a second, guys. And we're going to do this. I'm going to show you guys some of the stuff I picked up today. Talk about what I've been doing on Whatnot, why I'm doing it, and maybe talk a little bit about like what am I doing with my collection right now. I kind of figured out what I want to do, so give you guys that information as well. Just give me 1 second. I'm just trying to. How's my eye doing? I think it's okay. I haven't looked at it in like a day or two, but it got really, really bad like Sunday. From like the blue over everything was red, and like way down in here was like really jacked up. But it's getting better. It's getting better. It's definitely getting better. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. I'm just trying to get this. Trying to get me a co-host on here. I got a hot sauce that'll ruin your life. One drop will pop a testy. Yeah, that sounds no bueno. No bueno. I am not Chris. Actually, I've never been in my entire life. Not even once. Not even once. Not even one time. But I got some books. I don't know if you guys. Uh-oh. Okay. Is my mic messing up? My mic's messing up? All right, hold on. See, I didn't have anybody to be backstage with me to tell me if the mic was cool. Oh, this is what it is. I guarantee it. Hold on. Hold on. We're going to move this out of the way. What's going on here? What is happening? All right, hold on. We're going to figure this out. I think it's my cell phone charger being too close to the microphone. So does that sound better, or have we gotten rid of the noise? Why is my chair not working? I'm gonna have a fit. I am. I'm gonna have a fit. Right meow. Okay. So I don't know if you guys let me know if that sounds better. This week has kind of been not too good. I can run you guys through my Tuesday. That was an interesting day. So Tuesday, I get home from work. Now I have a very uneventful lifestyle. I don't do anything. I don't go anywhere. I get up at about 5 in the morning. I go to work. I take the same route to work, and then I take the same route home. When I get home, I walk in. I take off my boots. I take all empty my pockets on the nightstand table. Take off my belt and my tool pouch. Put it on the nightstand table. Then I go grab a shower. And then, whatever, when I get home, wake up the next morning, go to the nightstand table after, get dressed, put all my stuff back in my pockets, put my belt on, get in the truck, go. Very, very, uh, very much the same thing all the time. I somehow lost my freaking wallet Tuesday. Oh my God. I'm so beyond upset about that. And it's not like the most big deal ever because I can get my license back. No problem. I can get another debit card. Nobody used it, no problem. That's all that was really in there. Well, hold on. What's up, man?
What's going on, man?
So I was just telling everybody
Oh,
about
yeah, I heard your day. Your
yeah. So
week's your
I
week
lost
sounds
my
like it
freaking
sucks so
wallet.
far. Yeah.
So I lost my wallet, and I don't realize it until I've already gotten a shower and we're getting ready to go to my kid's baseball game.
And this is
And I'm like,
Tuesday?
yeah. So I'm like, where's
Okay.
my wallet at? I can't find my wallet. So I go into freak out mode. So I start tearing the house apart, can't find my wallet anywhere. And I'm just like, all
Hmm.
right, whatever. So now I'm just automatically just infuriated. And my wife always says, like, as soon as one bad thing happens, like you just get in this mood, and then everything else just sets you off even more. Like it's almost like you make things worse. And I'm like, no, I don't. Like it just happens. So uh, I didn't have time to eat anything before his game, and I'd skipped lunch that day because I had so much work going on. So I was kind of hungry. So being hungry and then losing my wallet, I was already mad. So we get to the baseball game, and I'm like, well, I'll just grab something at the concession stand. Well, she left her wallet in the car, so I had to walk a country mile to get her debit card out of the car. And then by the time I get back over there, there's at least 5,000 people in line for the concession stand. And I'm like, great. By the time I get to the front, the game will be over. So I'm like, we'll just go get something after the game. So after the game, we go to McDonald's. We go to the McDonald's by my house. Well, now they're doing construction on it. That McDonald's is now closed. So I
Ooh.
drive 20 minutes across town back to the McDonald's beside where I just was. I wait in line for about 20 minutes, finally order. And then about another 15 minutes, I get to the window, and there's 2 cars parked ahead of me waiting on their food. There's like 3 cars parked in the parking spots waiting on their food. So he's like, "Can you pull up?" I said, "Where, bro? Like where?" So we pull up. He brings my food out. Now I've been from the time I pulled in the parking lot till he handed me my bag. It's been probably 45 minutes.
Hmm.
Tell my wife, let's check the food because it's McDonald's. And I ordered a Big Mac. I hadn't had one in a long time, and I was like, I'm gonna get one. Open the Big Mac. Now, what is like the most important part of the Big Mac outside of the sauce? Like sing the song. Do you know the song?
No, what's the song?
You don't know the Big Mac song?
No.
Anybody in the chat know the Big Mac song? What's
There's a Big Mac song? I'm looking
yeah,
it up right now.
yeah. What's the first
Big
4 words in the
Mac.
Big Mac song?
I
I can't
want
believe you don't know the
patties.
Big Mac song, bro.
Hold on, I'm listening to it now. It's more than just another hamburger. Okay.
There they
Lettuce,
go in the
cheese,
chat.
pickles, and onions?
So here we go in the chat.
Okay.
2 all beef patties. That's so the song is 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles,
Hmm.
onions on a sesame seed bun.
Yeah, now I remember it. Yeah, I remember that.
So bro, how about I open this Big Mac up and it's got one hamburger patty on it, and it's not even a Big Mac patty at that. It's a kids meal burger patty, and they didn't even put the second patty on it.
What?
So I'm like, I look at my wife, and she's like, I don't even know what to say right now. She's like, it's just constantly over and over with you. When one thing happens, like it's over and over. So I'm trying to contain myself. I'm like, you know what? It's not that big a deal. Like they're busy. Let me just go inside. So I go inside, and I get to the line, and I walk up, and I hand the guy that was working the drive-through my burger, and he's like, "What's wrong with it?" And I opened it up, and he saw the burger patty there, and then saw that it wasn't another one. He just turns around and looks at everybody. He's like, "What the heck is going on?" They go to the manager, explains to her, I need another burger. This is what he wanted on it. They sit it down.
Hmm.
25 minutes later, guess what hasn't been moved or thought about since it was sat down?
How does this happen to you? I don't understand how this all like it's something always happens with you, like the CGC happening, and then Big Macs
I'm
and
not real
losing her
proud of what
wallet.
happened next, but I'm sitting there and I'm like, and like people are literally like, cannot believe that I got this burger anyway. Like this one guy was like, bro, he's like, they got you effed up, bro. He's like, they tried to give you that mini patty and only one. He was, and then
Was
he
this a
told him, he's
worker?
like, what's wrong with y'all, bro? It's a Big Mac. Y'all make more of these than any sandwich in this whole joint. How do you mess that one up? So after like 20 something minutes, I finally asked about it, and they're like, what did you have? And I was like,
Bro.
you did not just ask me that, dude. After I literally walked in here and handed it to you, you did not just ask me what I had. So I turn around and I'm walking out, and like there's a line of people, and they're like, you didn't get your burger? I said, nope, didn't get my burger. So
Dang.
I get out to the car, and my wife's like, what happened? I was like, I didn't get the burger. They don't have a clue what's going on. They didn't even remember taking the burger. I took the whole bag. I threw the fries out at the window. I took the bag and threw it out. I took my kid's kid meal. I threw that at the window. I took my sweet tea, smashed it up against the window, and I peeled out of there, dude, like I was 18 years old with a whole problem.
Hmm.
Wasn't the best thing to do, but I'm like, bro, you want $15 an hour? You can't even like acknowledge me. And then like I was so mad, dude. I was so mad.
Yeah.
I was so mad. Like seeing red, I couldn't take it, couldn't handle it. It had me so outside of my mind. But
But
yeah, I mean,
it's
looking
been a
back, it
while
probably
since you've had a it's been a while since you've had a blow up like that though, right?
yeah, yeah, it's been
So I
probably a
mean,
week or two. I
for
mean, it
something
happens at
that
work a good bit. It happens at work a good bit. Like when I'm working on my data closet and I'm in there like punching down cables and stuff, like it's real tedious and hard to see sometimes. And there's no the depending on where we're at in the stage of building the building, there may not be lights, so you have to use an extension cord and plug up your own lights. So I've got my light hooked up in the closet and I'm working, and I swear this one day, I mean, it was like every 10 minutes somebody unplugged my light,
huh.
like over and over and over. And I'm
So
walking out, and the first like couple
you're
times I
working in
walk out
complete
and I just
darkness, is that what it is?
do what?
You're working in complete darkness, is that why you need the light?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
So I
my
mean,
god.
like I have a headlamp on my hard hat, but it runs the battery down so quick. So I'm just
Yeah.
like I put a big light up in the closet and run an extension cord to the temporary power source. But these jokers will just unplug it. They'll walk by, kick the cord, unplug it. I walk out there and put it back. After about 5 times, I walk out there, and it's the same guys like working in the area, and they keep doing it. And I just laid into these jokers. Like, oh my God, I let them have it. Definitely not Two Brothers Comics YouTube channel friendly comments. And I'm like, what is y'all's problem? Like, it's a yellow cord, bro. How do you not see it? And then you knocked it out and you just leave it. And I'll come back from lunch, and then like some guys got it hooked up to his telephone, like unplugged it, and he was using it to charge his phone. And I walk in there and he's like,
Oh my
oh,
god.
sorry. Or they're using it for a microwave. So yeah. Yeah, it happens at work a good bit.
So I would have chucked that dude's phone, man.
Yeah, I get pretty heated sometimes at work. I mean, I wasn't back with my boss maybe 2 weeks and got in a fist fight on the job.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No, okay. Now, see, now you can't just say that and not explain that situation. What got you so heated that you actually put fist to face? You connected, right? I
So
can tell.
so we have what's called a they're called a buck hoist lift. So it's basically like an exterior elevator on the outside of the building. And so I'm in the buck hoist, and um, I'm working. The job is being put on through Brassfield and Gorey. They're a big general contractor, and they have their big safety things. Like I can't stand safety stuff. Like if you tell me to put some like safety glasses on, like I swear to God, it makes me want to not wear them even more. But I hate safety glasses anyway because they fog up, they scratch up, and you can't see what you're doing, and it makes them useless. Like it makes my job so much harder when I have to wear them. So anyway, I have my safety glasses just hanging around my neck, and it was first thing in the morning, so I was eating an apple, and I'm pretty sure traffic was bad that day, so I was already a little heated. But I was eating an apple on the buck hoist, and this dude that works for Brassfield and Gorey was on there. Now there's probably about 10 of us on there. Now this guy is not one of the guys that's like a superintendent or anything like that. Like he literally just pushes a trash buggy around, and he yells at me. He's like, "You need to put on your safety glasses." I looked down. I was like, "Bro, chill out." He's like, "And you need to put your mask on." I was like, "Bro, chill out. Like, we ain't nowhere. I'm nowhere near anybody in here." I was like, "I'm just eating this apple. I'm facing the opposite direction." I was like, "I'm literally writing this thing up for 8 seconds." I was like, I just was eating my apple when I got on there. Didn't think nothing about it. And then he
Hmm.
started hollering about the safety glasses again. And I was like, bro, you need to calm down. I was like, we're on a buck hoist. What are you going to do? You going to come over here and poke me in the eye? Explain to me what would happen that would make me need to wear these safety glasses right now while we're on this buck hoist. I was like, I'm not cutting nothing. I was like, unless you can come over here and poke me in the eye. Is that what you're going to do? He said, yeah, I am. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, well, we'll get off on this next spot right here and you come on and try. You see, you put the safety glasses on me. And yeah, we got off and went to rolling. And
So,
then Nick
dude,
told my
for
wife
real,
about it
really
the
tried
next
to put
weekend. Do what?
dude really tried to put those safety glasses on you. Like he
Oh
really
no,
like
we
went at
got
it.
off, and he like pushed me. And I was like,
Oh,
oh, okay. So yeah. And then
okay.
Nick
So,
told my wife about it like the next weekend because I didn't tell her about it. Oh, then she was mad at me. I was like, yeah, thanks a lot, Nick. He's like,
wait,
well,
was
you
he
don't need to be
visiting
doing
when
that
he
on
did
your
that?
job site. I'm like, well, people need to leave me alone.
Was he visiting when he told your wife?
Oh
Like he
yeah.
told her face to face? Oh, of
Oh yeah.
course. Of
Oh yeah.
course.
Mm-hmm.
That's how
So
siblings do.
mm-hmm. And I'm like, babe, it's a construction job site. Like that kind of crap happens all the time. Like it's part of
Does
the job.
it?
Oh yeah.
Fights happen all the time at construction sites?
Dude, I've been in two. The last one I was in was with my boss. Nope, I ain't joking you at all, dude. Like these guys started jumping on him, so I go over there and so I get into it, and these guys are big dudes, like big
Mhm.
dudes. Like one of them was just wailing on me like from the side, and I'm like trying to hold this other guy down. And then somebody comes up finally and grabs me from the back, and I'm turning around swinging. Boy, I about to knock my boss out.
Oh man.
He was like, "Stop, stop, stop!" I didn't know what it was, dude. I about knocked him out. And I was like, "Bro, yeah." I've seen tons
That
of fights on
close.
construction sites, dude. Oh my god, yeah. I've seen a lot of stuff on construction sites. It's interesting for sure. It's never a dull moment.
Yeah.
But let's talk about comic books, I guess, because that's what the 13 folks watching, I guess, wanted to see. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I was doing a little digging and found some books that I was thinking about sending off to get graded at some point. Not anytime real soon, but this is probably one of my favorite covers ever. John Buscema.
Ooh.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's the second Tiger Shark. I think this cover is
Hmm.
better than the first appearance, but
I think so too.
beautiful John Buscema art there. Got Hulk 102, which we all know is just like Captain America 100. It's the first
Mhm.
issue of his uh, series there. We got Marvel Spotlight number 6. This is the second appearance of Ghost Rider. I got this pegged at like a 9.0, so that would be
Dang.
really sweet considering I paid $5 for that book.
Yeah, I was about to say that's the one that you ran up at that place with, right?
Yep. Got the Marvel Premiere 28 Legion of Monsters first appearance. Really, really love that book too. I got to where I got this on my want list way earlier this year, and I'm glad I
Mm-hmm.
grabbed it because I got this copy super cheap, and now it's going for crazy money. This is one a lot of
Dang.
people don't know about. This is Hot Wheels #6, and this book right here is extremely low on the census, like 33 on the census total, and it's an awesome Neil Adams cover. So this is a super high grade one too. So
Yeah.
I picked that up last year. Thought that'd be an awesome one to have. Fantastic Four 55. I think this is like the fourth Silver Surfer. Got this from Man Cave Comics when he sent me my
That's
Marvel
right.
Spotlight 5. Awesome
Dude,
Kirby. So
and the purple on that pops
oh
so
yeah,
much. Like
yeah,
I
it's
love that
awesome,
cover.
awesome cover for sure.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy Sean, a lot of you guys know him as Yahweh. He gave me this Forever People #1, so I
Mm-hmm.
think that one I definitely like to get graded. This is my favorite Swamp Thing cover ever,
Oh, yeah.
ever, and I think this could hit anywhere from a 9.4 to a 9.8, depending on if I mean, I don't know. It's like impeccable. So
Did you get any of those pressed? Or are you
not
getting
yet.
all of those pressed?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna get them pressed. I haven't yet though. Got the Superman 223 or 233 that Neil
Neil
Adams, and this is
Adams.
actually an
Yeah.
homage to some one of the Golden Age Superman covers. I think it's like number 10 or something. But
Mhm.
yeah, that one's super super iconic.
Have you ever
Uh,
heard him talk about that cover?
oh yeah, he hates it. He hates
Oh,
it.
he hates it. He hates
He
the
hates
leg. He hates the
the leg,
placement of that. Yeah.
that line right there. He hates that
Hmm.
it's like so bold and sticks out.
He just
So
said if he could make the legs just a little bit like come together just a little bit more, like he
yeah,
hates the fact that that font in the middle of the legs
just
is what
pushes
made
them
it
out.
push out. Yeah. He was like, I hated that. I was like,
Yeah.
I love hearing stories like that because
Oh yeah, because you
you
never
see
think
such
about
a
it.
yeah, and it's such an iconic cover. It was like, oh man, yeah, the Superman Unchained, and then all of a sudden you hear him talk about it, he's like, I hate it.
Uh huh.
So many people love it, but he's like, I hate it.
Right. I got the Mr. Miracle #1. I've got this at like a 6.570, but more Jack Kirby, awesome book. So
True, it's Jack
love my
Kirby,
Jack
right?
Kirby stuff. And then I have the Wolverine '88. Got this at like a
Hmm.
9.4. I bought this for like $11 at Huntsville Comic Con earlier this year from a toy guy. So
Hmm.
definitely would like to get that one graded at some
And
point too. So
that's the first fight between Wolverine and Deadpool, right?
yep, absolutely, absolutely. Perry, what's going on, man? What are you doing, Perry? I'd invite Perry on, but I don't think he's got time for little old Two Brothers comics anymore. What's up, Tori? I see you in there. What's going on? Oh, Jace, what's going on, Southern Comic Geek? Hope you're doing good, brother. Hope you're doing good.
You know, I
Yeah, I
wish
know this
those
is
people
false.
would what's it called? I wish like StreamYard and what are we on? Mellencamp?
Melon.
Melon
Mellencamp
Okay.
is that's a singer from the 90s, late 80s.
It's
John
the first
Mellencamp.
thing that
John Cougar Mellencamp.
yeah. But like every time you click on somebody and they have your emojis on and it just says that, like it reads it out loud like
Oh
Google
yeah,
searching
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. I hate that. I wish it could just show all the
Yeah.
emojis.
Yeah, agreed. Because like it's hard for us to tell sometimes when people put emojis or stickers. Like we can't see
Hmm.
them, so we just have to go based off of like the description of them.
Oh, I've had to not that I have any emojis on mine. It's just um what's it called? I have to keep it open on my phone so this way I can actually see what they put. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, you have to. Otherwise, you have no idea what it is. No, no, it is not. But I know who you're talking about. I think that guy's like, is that guy Hawaiian or something? I don't know. But I know who you're talking about.
Wait, he's talking about me?
No, 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 no. He's talking about that song "Swing," and he's like
Hmm.
Savage something or another. Oh, is
Okay.
he asking if you? is he asking if you're savage? Are they asking if you're? No, this isn't him. This is Adrian, the Panda Awesome.
There you go. Hey, that's what's up. Man, I got so many of your guys' stickers, man. I love your guys' stickers. Every time you guys re-up, I put it right on the store folio, man. Even the little ones. Even the
Oh
little
yeah,
ones. Collect your way. Look at that.
right on, man.
You guys are like everywhere on my deal too. Look at that foil one, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle
I don't even have
logo.
one
I
of those.
love that.
I don't even
I
have
got
one
that
of
collect
those.
your way. Man, you're
Right on.
everywhere. You guys are everywhere on my deal because you guys were the first ones. You
Awesome,
know, and
man.
that's the reason why you guys are the first ones is because you guys were the ones that told me about the store folios.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
I don't go anywhere without these.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're so handy. So handy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I put up a video a couple weeks ago talking about not being sure where to go with my collecting, and I
Mm-hmm.
kind of made a decision on where to go.
Oh, you did.
I did.
Okay.
Um,
What are we collecting? More Pokemon cards? What are we doing?
so I'm gonna sell everything.
Wait, is this what the whole push on whatnot is?
Yeah,
No, you're not gonna sell everything.
not everything, but I'm gonna sell everything and get down to about 150 books.
How many do
And
you have right now?
I've probably
Because I
got
know
about
you got about
3,000
11
maybe.
short boxes, right?
Yeah, I've got about 3, maybe 4,000. So, and like I put that together in like 3.5 years, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's nonsense.
It's nonsense, but to a lot of other people, that's like,
No, I'm talking about
that's not bad
like when I go in there
for
and
you.
look at it, I'm like, this is nonsense, bro. I don't even know what all this is. Like, I buy the book, I put it in the box, I walk away, I never look at it again. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, I'm like, I've got so much stuff in here that's just like fluff or run filler stuff that I don't even really read or anything. So like I'm gonna cut the collection down to like 150 books of stuff that one I know exactly what I've got and why I have it. Everything will
Okay,
have a
so
purpose and a reason for
mhm.
being in the collection. So I
Okay,
don't
so what's
know.
staying? What's staying?
That's one.
Let's go with
That's
that.
the thing. Like I haven't decided exactly what is staying. Like, do I need 5 copies of every single Mortal Kombat book that was ever printed? Probably not.
Yeah, but that
Like
was a goal.
I know. Like, but I just need 1 copy, the highest graded
That's true.
copy of each, and like I'm good. So like those I'm gonna keep. Like all my slabs that I've got, I'm gonna keep those. But the new comic book day stuff that I've bought and read for the past 3 years and haven't looked back at it again, haven't pulled it back out. That stuff's going. I'm
Yeah,
moving that stuff.
absolutely.
Um, it was super fun putting together my What If series and putting those
Hmm.
full runs together, volume 1 and volume 2. But I got them put together. I put them in a box, and guess what hasn't been opened again since I did that?
Just got that one.
I got like 5 copies of that one, bro.
What, dude? What?
It's my
I've been
favorite
looking for
one.
a copy. Oh
It's
yeah,
my
that's
favorite
true.
one, and I want a 9.8. I want a 9.8 in it, and I don't want to buy one because they're like $500.
I know.
So I just keep buying
This.
them, and then I get it, and I'm like, oh, there's a spine tick. Dang.
Mm-hmm.
So it just goes in the box with the rest of them. So, but it's like the What If books. I loved them, and I still do. I enjoyed them. I read them, but now the omnibus are coming out, so I'm buying the omnibus, and
I was
then
gonna say, and you also had a show with Captain,
yeah,
talking about what if. I mean, that lasted what, 3 episodes? But man, I love those episodes because I love the What If series too.
oh
And so
yeah,
as you guys were reading it, I was reading it digitally with you guys. So I was just like, so this
oh
way when
right
you guys
on,
talked about it, I was like, I'm gonna be ready. So this way I can talk.
yeah, yeah. I
I
mean,
loved it.
and I was just talking to Steve about that before the stream started. Because he was like, "Man, me and you and Panda need to get a stream together soon." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." I was like, "But like,
Mhm.
it's so hard. Like, there's literally no way for me to live stream during the week. Like, my work schedule and with my kid playing baseball, and now he's in karate as well. So, like, literally this week, Monday we had karate, baseball game. Tuesday, oh yeah, Cobra Kai. Hell yeah,
Oh
dude.
yeah, I'm so
Tuesday we
ready
had a
for it.
baseball game. Wednesday we had karate and baseball. Yesterday we had nothing. Today was supposed to be baseball and karate again, and then tomorrow we have baseball.
Dang.
So like live streaming during the week, there's no way. I can't do it. I can't. I mean, and then I got to be in bed by like 9 o'clock because I get up at like 5 in the morning. If I get up at 5, I'm already late. But I just some like the majority of the time, that's when I get up is at around 5. So
Dude,
um
Chris, man, Dustin only has one kid. Think about
yeah,
that. And his schedule is like this with just one kid. Think if he added another one. Let's just imagine
my
Dustin
wife wants
swimming and
to.
he's
Like that's
look, I'm
coming
telling
too.
you, like just imagine Dustin swimming, right? And the second baby comes and everyone's looking at Dustin and he's drowning. And then they just hand him another baby. That's exactly how that second baby's gonna be like. Just
I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. So, it's
I mean,
like
and I got 4 kids, so I totally understand.
there's
Every
no
one of them
way,
have
bro. There's
different
no way.
personalities and they
There's
all want to
no
be
way I can do
involved
it.
in different things. And right now, as I'm here, I told my daughter to go close her door because she wanted to get into violin. Good God, my ears are bleeding. But I love her. I love her. I love her to death. I keep telling her, you just keep practicing. What up, Nosh?
He's talking about
Big
his
Nosh
kids
in
and
the
being
house.
tired getting home from sports too. That's what we're talking about, man.
Exactly. And right now, like right now, my daughter, she just got she just got done being quarantined for having COVID. So she
Mm.
went back for the first time today. Oh man, she could not stop talking when she came home, and I was like, "Dang girl, you're just talking just a little bit. I'm just a little bit." She's like, "Am I talking a lot?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." But then you got one coming up talking about her day, and then you got another one as soon as you come home, grabbing onto your leg, being like, "Where have you been? Where have you been?" And then you got the angsty teenager coming through, going, "What are you doing here?" It's like, "What do you mean? What am I doing here? I live here.
I
Get
live
out of
here.
here." No, man, it's just it's crazy. And
So
as they
yeah, I
grow
mean,
older, man, like the
yeah,
schedule's just gonna get even worse. So, I mean, good luck with you if you're doing all this right now. Whew, man, because it
yeah.
sounds like
I mean,
Hayden's a
it,
sports nut.
yeah, and so then even trying to find time to just like at some point I have to record videos for content. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So
Why do
like
you
on
think
top
all
of
mine has
all
been
that,
stopping? Yeah.
so I try to record a video as often as I can. I'm constantly apologizing to Nick, like, bro, I'm so sorry I have not recorded anything
Hmm.
this week. Like, you're pulling all the weight right now. I'm trying, and to try to read a book, yeah, right. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
if I read something, it's 5 minutes before the Babylon starts, and
Same thing with the Thursday night chat now. Like, it's like, okay, tell me what we're reading like 2 days in advance. So this way, if I get any kind of chance, I'll read it. And every
mhm,
kind of chance I get is always like 10 minutes before the live. And I'm like, gosh dang, I hope I get through all of them.
right, right. So that's why we don't do that video that live stream anymore, and But going back to what I was saying, like everything that I'm basically going through my boxes and looking at
Hmm.
what I got, and if it's something that I'm like, I'll never be able to get one of these again, all right, I might hold on to it. If it's something that I'm like, I don't even know why I bought this, or this is something that's going to be readily available. If I really miss it, I can get another one. Then, that's
Hmm.
another thing. But for the most part, I'm kind of just I'm going to run through my short boxes. I'm still debating on whether or not, and I know this is going to make people think that I just suck, but I'm still debating on whether or not I want to keep all of my Ninja Turtles books. Obviously, I want to keep all the big ones. Like,
Hmm.
I'm not getting rid of those, but I put the whole first volume together, but I've got the big hardcovers to read it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I've got people on my whatnot asking for turtles every week. And I'm like,
And it's
Yeah.
hard because like you have it and you're like, yeah, that's money right there because people are asking for it. That's what
Right.
the people want.
And
So
and I start everything at a dollar. Like, I've started everything at a dollar. So it's
really,
like whatever you want to pay for it, like that's cool, you know. I'm
hmm
just trying to put this money in my savings account, and then also using that money, it gives me a buffer for like tonight where I'm sitting on the couch watching Venom with my wife and kid, and I see the most incredible deal on a book that I had written off as never being able to get it again because it went through the roof, and I got it for less than half of what it sells for. And if it wasn't
let,
for
uh,
me moving books, then I wouldn't have been able to grab that, and I was able to grab it. So,
let me
uh,
guess, it's a UF4.
we're not going to talk about what it is, but we're just going to say that I got it for under 500 bucks raw.
Yo, that's what's up, man.
So, like, if it wasn't for me moving these, and I'm like, and then I try to think about it too, like The Walking Dead #1. That was the main thing for doing the whatnot because it's like, all
Yeah.
right, I spent 1,100 bucks on this book, and I gotta put that money back in my savings account. So,
hmm
would I trade all the books that I sold on whatnot on my first sale for that book? Yeah, absolutely. Would I trade all the ones I
hmm
sold last week for it? Yeah, and that's the way I looked at it. It's like if I would trade this book for Walking Dead 1, 9.6, it's going in the for sale box. So I've got another one this week. I'm just gonna keep doing them every Sunday at 12 o'clock on our whatnot. And like I said, if it's something cool, I've just been starting everything at a dollar. I sold all my Spawn stuff, including my #1 last week. I started my Spawn 1 near mint copy for a dollar.
And where did it end up selling at?
I think like 54 bucks.
That's not bad for a number
Yeah,
one. Are you kidding
yeah,
me?
yeah. I
Those
didn't think
things
it was
sell
either.
raw for like $35 to $40 right now, and to get it for 54, man, killing it. Justin.
Yeah, so that's just kind of where I'm at right now.
Oh,
And
which
it's
by the
hard for
way,
me because you
just
can
know
ask
that
Justin. We've
there's
talked about it. Like, I'm stingy with my books. Like, when I get it, I don't want to let it go. It's mine's. You
Justin, I
know.
don't know if you can see this, but there is something in between my fingers happening right now because of you. I have been going nuts. My wife has been hating that I've been doing all this stuff. The Super 7, like I showed that stuff off, man, and this slipcase just keeps getting stuck. I think I'm just gonna take it off, but
That's awesome,
man,
man. That's awesome.
The lucky for you though, Super Seven is being really good about re-releasing the four turtles, right? So there's going to be
oh yeah,
multiple opportunities to get ones that you missed out on.
oh dude, yeah, and that was the thing was I was like, man, I was at that con and I saw it and I was just like, man, I want all these other books, but that Super 7 looked good. Like, and I don't really do toys like that. Like, but now apparently I've been doing toys like a lot lately. I don't know why.
I just got rid of all mine.
All the MMPR too? Nuh-uh. You
Yeah,
sold it as a set?
if it wasn't something that was gifted to me, I sold it. I got rid of all of it.
I'm so jealous. I had a chance for the metal head at that same con, and I couldn't do it.
This came yesterday. Yeah, this came yesterday.
Oh, the
Yep.
last two of the frogs, huh?
Yeah,
Good. And you pre-ordered that from Target?
I ordered that directly from NECA. They had a few that they had in stock on their website, so
Still
I
got
just went to
that
their
one.
website and ordered it from there. So because like you have to pay for shipping that way, but I
Dude.
would rather pay $15 to have it shipped to me and not have to worry about going out and hunting it down.
Yeah. Dude, your shelves are looking bare. It's looking clean, but it's looking bare. What happened, man? Your toys are gone. Your displays are, oh my gosh, you weren't kidding, man.
Dude, all
So,
my toys were just packed up in my closet for like 4 months, and
mhm.
I hadn't pulled them out. And so I was at my shop last week, and I was talking to the guy there, and I was like, man, I was like, He's like, "Do you have any NECAs or know anybody wanting to sell NECAs?" I was like, "Bro, I got them all." I said, "I got all the movie NECAs." I said, "I got Power Rangers. I got Funkos." I was like, "I'll bring it all up here tomorrow." So I did, and he ended up wanting me to just let him consign it. And he's had stuff been selling all week. So I added it all up. I mean, we priced everything up, and it was like right at like $2,800 worth of stuff. So he'll take
Just in toys or
toys
comics
and
as well?
Funkos, yeah.
Toys and Funkos.
And
Dang,
he's gonna take
man.
25% off the top for commissioning them or consigning them, and I'll
Mhm.
get the rest. So, but yeah, I'm just trying to. I got my motorcycle up for sale too, so that sucks. But
Ooh, that's the big one for you. I mean, more
yeah,
than anything, more than comics, more than Funkos, more than the
yeah.
toys. That
But
was that was
I
your
haven't had
love there.
I haven't had time to ride it. Like
Mhm.
I bet I haven't rode my bike in like 3 months because I've just been so busy. And on top of that, the weather's been trash out here. Like I swear it's rained more than it's not. But
Right. I
um,
was about to say you guys are in that hurricane.
yeah,
Like you guys are right like directly in the aftermath of everything. So you get nothing but
right.
rain and torrential floods.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's like, I'm trying to get prepared for my wife wants to have another child, so I'm just trying to make sure that I'm financially prepared and over prepared and doubly over prepared for all of that too. So trying to weed out the things that I can live without so that my mind will be a little more at ease as far as that goes. So
That's
but yeah,
awesome, man.
I'm really looking forward to um, getting this collection, getting my comic collection really weeded down to the things that are just really, really important to me, and being able to decide what those things are.
You know, see that?
Because it's like,
Yeah.
I have weird stuff like my Jurassic Park comics that I absolutely love and I will not sell. I've
Right.
got my Pokemon books that I won't sell, my Mortal Kombat books that I won't sell all of. Um, but then,
Now, are
like,
you going to retry for that 9.2 or are you going to keep it a 9.2? I mean,
no,
is
no,
it
no, I'm
worth
still
trying
gonna
to
get
get it?
that one. I'm still gonna get that one up to a 9.8. It's going to a 9.8. Like that's
Okay.
happening.
Okay.
I haven't been wanting to send anything because they're so freaking behind. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna probably get and that one, like, I feel like I've got one more shot. So whoever I have press it, it's got to be on the money.
Immaculate, huh? On the
And I
money.
think I think that if I can find someone that will put it in a moisture chamber to
Hmm.
loosen up the fibers, because there's a bend on there. And I think if I can get it in a moisture chamber and really loosen up the fibers in the paper and get that bend out, it's a done deal. But
Man,
but
Yahweh be pressing all his stuff.
yeah, I've been talking to him about doing it. So
Yeah, he's been getting very, very nice with it, man.
oh yeah,
Like all his videos that he's been showing on Instagram and
yep.
dude, and Sean is just such a good dude. And he's local to you. That's the best part is
I
that
was at his house last weekend. Yeah, I go
yeah,
to
that's what I'm saying.
me and Sean are boys, so I love that guy. Like I genuinely love that
See,
guy. He's
I,
such a good
I'm
dude.
I'm so effing jealous that you guys get to hang out on the regular like that. That just
I didn't get the notification that you was here. What's
What's
up,
going
man?
on? Can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
No, but that's perfectly fine.
I bet. Yeah, I've never used this service before. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is nice. It lets you stream in 1080p, and it's got a couple of other options that I'm not really sure what they are, but Nick tends to be able to enjoy those things a little bit better than me. So
Yeah.
That's cool. I like it. The video is much more crisp.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's a little bit unfortunate in Justin's case, but it's what's going on, Justin?
How have you been?
Been pretty good. I haven't seen you in it's been far too long. Put it like
Yeah,
that.
like what? 3 weeks?
At least a month.
Almost 4?
Yeah, I agree. What's going on, Panda? I don't know that we've ever been on a stream together.
Yeah, we have. You just never noticed me. I'm good.
Oh, that's cool.
No, what's up, Buff? How you doing, man?
Hold on. I like that pyramid. Does it go all the way to the top?
No, that is the top. That
Oh,
is
that's
the tippy top.
Oh man,
Yeah,
you need to
'cause-
raise the roof and put about
well, that's
5
what I'm
more
saying.
layers.
It's
to
just
get-
there's
get
a
it.
there's that ugly ass border. I can't
Nice.
do it. So
So now you have to expand outward.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I got to expand outward. So, I mean, when I first started, I only had like 9, and now it's just gone to this, and I have more slabs over there that I need to still put up. I just haven't had time. Like Dustin said, man, life has been happening. My room is trashed. If we do a room tour right now, like you'd see nothing but trash and books everywhere, and it's just like,
I've sent you pictures of my room before I
Oh, yeah.
redid it. Like it was bad, bro. But now, like I took everything out, repainted, redid the entire room, and I mean it's like an awesome looking studio now. But
right.
yeah,
Okay, so
I
that
feel
was
you.
also my other question was after doing all that remodeling and having to put everything back, did that start that thing in your head like maybe I should start selling all this stuff because there's just so
Yeah,
much of it.
because I was just like, I wanted everything to look nice and crisp and flow really
Mhm.
well. And my wife kept instilling that in me, like you don't need to pile crap up on top of each other. And I can't display everything.
Mhm.
And if I can't have it out and look at it and enjoy it when I walk in here or when I'm hanging out in here, then it's like, well, why do I have it then? And I know this is like craziness to Bubs because he's anti-sell anything unless it's something that he can get another book with. I hear.
No, I mean, I shrank my collection last year by about 1,000 books, and so
Yeah, I
it's-
guess you're not as bad as Roger about it. Now you better not talk about
Mm-hmm.
selling books when it comes to his collection because Roger.
yeah, that's blasphemy to him. Yeah.
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 Roger will be ready to take on the world if they come after
And
his
then DS
collection.
Comics is on the opposite end of that spectrum.
Yeah.
He pretty much only sells books. Like his entire collection is just a fluid stock. That's it. Whatever it gets it in,
Yep.
it goes right back out.
Yep.
Even the
Dang.
books that he hunts for, he'll spend 2
Mhm.
years hunting for a book. He'll keep it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I
It's
just
already
listened to
gone.
the one where you guys were talking about that, where it's just, and he said he was just like, he's like, because you had basically told him like, everything in your like everything you have, like none of it's really a part of your like collection to keep. Like everything's for sale, no matter what it is. And he was like, nah. And then he thought about it, and he was like, yeah, I guess you're right, though. Yeah.
He's
But-
quick, man. He gets rid of it, and he likes the joy of the hunt and the acquisition. But after that, he'll take a picture of it, and he's done. I tease him that there's probably a lot of pissed off ex girlfriends like all over West Virginia, just angry because he get him once, and then he takes a picture of him like in the morning at breakfast, and he dumps him.
Yeah, and I mean I can kind of understand that because like I get the same way sometimes. Like that Avengers 4. I mean I pined after that book for a year solid and finally pulled the trigger on probably what was the first one I actually ever put in my hand. And Josh still had it, and I finally pulled the trigger on it. And the day I went and got it, like it wasn't that it was disappointing. I guess it was just almost underwhelming. Like I think I had hyped myself up like that I would have this like overwhelming feeling finally getting this book in my hand.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, there it is. And I even said it in the video. I was like, well, there it is. Almost $1,000 on this book. It
Yeah.
where's the
Do you
butterflies
think it
coming
was
in?
the price that did that?
I think so, because at that point I had not spent that much money on a book.
Mm.
And I've surpassed that since then twice. One on my 181 and once for my Walking Dead #1. But
Mm.
at that point, like, yeah, I had not spent that much money. But at the same time, we had agreed on that price so much earlier on that it had almost doubled in price by the time I actually got it in my hands. So that made me feel better. Not that because I was going to sell it, but just because I didn't feel like, okay, if I got a good deal on it. And getting a good deal, I know you can appreciate like that adds a
Mhm.
whole nother realm of happiness to
It
obtaining
really
a book.
is. I mean, I had a similar experience with my giant size X-Men 1. So when I picked this one up, I bought it. I twisted the arm of Alex the Comic Hoarder, and
Bought
wrangle
a lot of
this. Like
stuff
I like to buy books that aren't for sale. Like that's even more fun. So when I see someone show a book, I'm like, tell me the number. What do I got to do? To pull that book out of your cold dead hands. And so I wrestled this book away from him, and I really felt like I had overpaid just slightly. I basically paid market value for it, right, at that time. But I really liked it. I thought it presented really well for a 3.5. I thought it had great presentation, and there was a crease on it that he didn't like, so he had upgraded, so he was ready to offload it. And I was like, you know what, I'll take it, and we worked out a deal. And I felt like by the time it came in the mail, I was like, oh man, I spent too much, and it was not the most. I spent more for my Hulk 181, but this was the second most I'd ever spent on a book. And I really felt like I paid, and I was like, oh man, I just shouldn't have paid. I should have tried to scratch and get a lower grade copy for less or something. And then I don't know, 2 months later, it doubled in price, and it's like triple what I paid. It's worth triple now. So
it's crazy.
over time, it felt a lot better.
Oh yeah.
But at first, it didn't feel so hot, but I got the idea.
Did you bump the grade on that 181? I watched the video today where you cleaned and pressed it. If you guys don't know, I'm slowly making my way through the catalog of Bub's comics.
I hate that. For you.
No Faces chat. It's been really cool to listen to. Like if you're driving or something, it listens like a podcast. So you don't actually have to look at anything. So, but I did notice the press and cleaning video, and I've been wanting to get into that myself. I've tested myself a little bit on cleaning a little bit. Justin gave me a X-Men 6 that was pretty rough, and I cleaned it up pretty decently. So I'd seen that one, and you had a 2.5 on it, right? Because that's
I
what
had
mine
a 2.5, and I got a 5.5.
Oh wow!
Out of it.
Wow, that is excellent, dude. Because you were saying you were hoping you get a 3, and if it was a great day, a 3.5. So that's awesome.
Yeah, really. Of course, it's funny that I had went for such a big book to press so early on. That video was a few years ago, and I had pressed some keys, but I hadn't pressed anything of this value up until that point. So I was really being conservative with what the grade was going to come back at. And also it has a printing error, like a manufacturing defect. So if you see up between the L and the K, you see like that yellow, color bleed between the yellow and the red. So that I didn't know what CGC, because this was a CBCS before. So I didn't know what CGC was going to do with that. And I contacted them and asked them, got no answer basically. Oh, the graders will look at it and determine the evaluation and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, thanks for nothing. And so I just had to hope for the best. And turns out they don't grade against it. It's not even in the notes.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome. Yeah. The only thing knocking that book at all would be just that Marvel stamp missing. But I mean,
missing
still,
Marvel
that's
stamp.
an awesome grade bump, man. That's crazy.
Yeah,
See, mine, the thing killing mine is right across the H. It looks like somebody at some point laid another book down on top of it. And when they pulled it up, like pieces of that book stuck to the cover. And I don't know if that can come off or not.
I tell you, I've got a Golden Age book that has that on it. It's one of my favorite books in my collection. I've been hunting it for years, and I just got it about maybe a month ago. And I tried, and I've been cleaning and pressing it. It would take probably a wet clean, and I just don't want to do it. The wet cleaning is so dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh, what is a wet cleaning? Is that where you dunk the whole comic in water, or like whatever?
In some cases, sometimes you're just spot cleaning with it. But yes, in some cases, you literally submerge the entire comic in a cleaning solution, and it breaks up. It'll break up stuff that's not native to the comic. So any kind of foreign, like you're saying, another book stuck to it, it'll loosen up that gap a little bit, and then you can work it off from there. There's also some cleaning solutions that will basically take off. You might take off more than you want, but it's all about being careful and being skilled at that point.
They can tell when you use that stuff, can't they?
They laugh at dry cleaners. Like they'll say stuff like, you can't get this results with a white eraser, and they laugh. But I mean, most books don't require wet cleaning. Most of them are just fine with a nice dry clean. But when you come across something like that, where it's pieces of paper stuck together,
Yeah.
and it's not glued, it's just fused, man,
Mhm.
it's tough. It's really tough. I did a little bit. It had like 2 spots on it that had that same problem, and I
Didn't
tested
see
one of the
Jason
spots,
back there either. What's up,
and
man?
it wasn't going well, so I stopped. Hey, what's going on, Southern?
Man, now I know why the chat is called the Forgotten, because you get back there. Justin forgets everybody, okay? I've been back for 10 minutes. Justin,
For real, 10 minutes?
yeah, man.
I just looked
Oh,
over and saw
yeah.
a message in the private chat, because usually Melon will actually, it'll like give you a notification and say, Justin has joined or Bubs has joined, and I didn't get one for Bubs or Jason, so I didn't have a clue. So my bad.
So, Bub, as soon as he came on, I clicked right after him. So that's how.
Yeah, but I had already been waiting backstage for like 5 minutes. And he didn't see me. That's why I was going like this. I didn't know if I had to bang on the phantom zone to get out, or
But yeah, with mine, like I don't know. I can CGC and CBCS, like, can they tell when something's been cleaned in a solution like that? I've heard that they can, and they'll knock you for it or something as like restoration.
No, I mean if you're really bad at it,
Okay.
I mean, there's that, usually in restoration, they're looking for color touch, pieces added, anything foreign. Like if you have a corner of the book missing and you add a piece, or a piece of the spine that's chunked out and you add a piece, that's going to be restoration. Any kind of recoloring or reglossing was a big thing back in the day. They used to put the gloss back on a book, because it loses gloss over time, most books. So like most of my golden age books, the gloss is gone. Like you could take a dry paper towel and rub the book, and color will come off because the gloss is so gone, and smudge and blur. So that used to be a big thing. They would regloss comics. Yeah, see you later, man. Oh,
I don't know what just happened.
So anyway, so that's what used to happen. It's not as big a deal now as it used to be. And I think most of the time when you're talking about just a wet cleaning, as long as you're just removing something and not adding, like if you try and bleach the comic, that's not really cleaning it. That's adding white to, or you're trying to, manipulate the fiber more than just cleaning it. So anything that's just a surface clean, you should be fine. And even submerging a book should be fine. I mean, you're just doing something. You're just doing something to the book. You're giving it purposeful water damage. And if it turns out to make it look better, hey, good for you.
So, Bub, I got a question. Like, with a lot of those books, oh man, that needs to be cleaned.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's exactly what you think it is. It's the back of another book that's been sitting on it for so long that it got stuck together. The finish got stuck to each other, and it has transferred onto that book.
Yeah. And
is there any way to get that off?
Oh yeah. A professional get that off. Like that's easy for a professional, but you'll spend a lot of money for one of those guys because they have a lot of equipment. It takes a lot of time and delicate work. But yeah, you can get that off.
I think presents way better than a 2.5.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Especially if you get that off and everything.
Outside of that, I mean, and it's got like a pressable deep. Like I don't think it's ever been pressed either, or it's never been pressed.
It's not been cleaned either. Yeah. I mean, there's some regular cleaning can be done to that to fix some of that.
Yeah, especially that back cover. Well, my question was like, okay, we know about books that are gloss and everything like that, and you collect a lot of older books. So, do you have any pulp books?
Yeah, I just picked up a pulp at the con in Lexington.
Right. Okay, so how do you go about cleaning a pulp book? Because that thing is so fragile to begin with. Like, how do you even go about with that?
I mean, condition's the same for all of it, but as far as it's still made of the same material. The old comics were made of pulp pages as well.
Right,
so
right.
Golden Age comics and the Golden Age pulps are kind of the same. The difference is that the pulps had a nice square bind, on it. So
Mhm.
that glue and that broken up spine, and also they're a lot thicker. Like if you've ever had a pulp, you guys ever, I don't know how old some of you are, but do you remember TV Guide magazine?
Oh yeah,
So
I had
a
all
pulp
the
is about,
WWF ones.
yeah, a pulp's about the thickness of a TV Guide.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So that's a lot of pulp paper that can
Right.
get brittle, damaged, broken up very easily. So pressing it is very difficult. And you could do a surface clean like anything else, though. It has a gloss top. So, I mean, you could do a cover clean to it, but after
Uh-huh.
that, it's not like you. And I'm very careful with putting pulp paper in humidity chambers because you
Mhm.
can get a lot of transfer between the pages. And you don't want that.
Oh,
They'll
yeah.
open the pages in check, and the color will bleed from one page to another if you add too much humidity to the book.
So do you try to put inserts in between each page, or that's just too much?
I don't
like,
fool with pulps. When I
Oh,
get a
okay.
pulp, however it comes in, unless it has grease pencil on it, because that's like the easiest thing to clean. So if it has a grease pencil mark, then I'll clean that, which was common in the day. They would use grease pencils to mark price and stuff. They write just a big 5 cents on it or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
So if it has that, like I wouldn't have a book that had that on it because I'd have that off in 3 seconds. Like that's the easiest thing to clean. So unless
I
you
gotta
just
get
like the
that off of
character
there,
of it,
man.
some people like to see the old writing.
Yeah,
So
I gotta get it off. It's one of my
I
favorite.
mean, you can get
books.
that off in 3 seconds, leave no marks. It's super easy. So if it had something like that, I would clean it. But other than that, I just leave them alone and consider it. I'm glad I have it. It's like from 1941, and it's like just awesome, and I just enjoy how screwed up it looks,
Yeah. And the reason why I was asking was because I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks back, we went to an antiques shop, and they had some pulp books there, and I was like, oh man, it would be awesome to have one. And just going through it, man, like it felt like they were falling apart in my hand as I was
Oh
flipping
yeah.
through. So I was like, I'm not doing anything. Like I'm not gonna buy this. It's like I had that whole you break, you buy kind of feel, and I was like, no,
bro.
I'm not doing it. Because I don't know if I want this book or not. I was just flipping through the pages, and even then, I felt like I was going to take off that whole cover, and I was like, "Gosh!"
Yeah,
And
yeah, they're
and
super
the glue
brittle.
was, the glue was pretty much super gone already.
Oh, dude, it'll
with the
dust
binder.
out. Like if you tap the spine, like that's on some pulps. Like I say, condition is condition. There's some out there that are 9.8 candidates. I mean, they're out there, but the average one that you come across, if you just tap the spine, you see like a little yellow glue dust fall out of it. Like it,
Oh, okay,
it
so
ain't,
that's what
it
that
ain't
is?
holding on, but by nothing but a prayer. Most of them that you see out there,
I know
they're just
JD
barely
bought
there.
like JD
Yeah.
bought like some crazy pulp collection not too long ago. Like he was showing them to us after the hunt one night, and I mean some of the stuff he has is crazy old, man.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
JD's got quite the collection. Like he likes that like one of one kind of stuff, and you're like, wow, like I don't know how you got a hold of it. Like
Yeah, JD's got some crazy
JD's
golden
the
age stuff too.
dude, and
Yeah,
when
he
you
does
hear him talk
well.
on the hunt like that, like you're like, yeah, he can back it up because he's got it. You know what I mean? Like he can talk that talk because I mean he can back it up. So
Of course, I have beat JD on the hunt every time I've gone against him. I don't know if that counts.
I got him one time.
Did you get him once?
It
Only
wasn't
once?
1-on-1, but he was in there. It was him and like 4 other guys. But
How many characters you have to cycle through before you got him?
I did that one time that when we did the Royal Rumble thing. I actually beat you.
You got me. You
yeah,
got me on a
'cause I had
second
just
case
lost.
change. You had to change to unkind or something, or
Yeah.
and you come back, and I was like, "That's baloney, man. This guy's shown 6 books already."
I was riding that way for a while. I was like, I beat Bubs, I beat JD, I beat them all by now.
Yeah, he's a
Right.
one-man tag team event.
All right, I've gotten the crap kicked out of me enough times though. That's for sure. But yeah, I think after talking to you guys about it though, I think I'm gonna spend the money and try to find someone to do something with this. Even if it costs me, $300-400. I mean, this is a book here when you're talking about thousands of dollars and increased value for grade bumps. I mean,
I mean, two guys I would recommend, and not based on price, just based on ability, would be Sanderson Studios, which he may not take the book because it's not expensive enough. If that scares you enough, like that book isn't valuable enough for his time.
dang.
I mean, this guy's working on Action Ones, so that's
wow.
his level. But he could do it he could do that like in his sleep, so maybe he would do a good deal on it. And then another one would be Phantom Restoration.
Okay.
And he's more of an up and comer, so he may be, more apt to do, but he does that level of book all day as well and does a fantastic job. And I would say both of those guys are probably more than capable. Well, both of them are more than capable. So it's just a matter of,
Yeah.
is it worth it to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I would only do it for the presentation because the grade will go up. But honestly, that book has more than that one issue with the standing on the back and front.
Oh,
and those
yeah.
are grease stains, which they could still work on. But I don't know how high that book can get. But in their hands, it will get as high as it possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, I figure, I mean, if they can get that off of there and clean up the back, I mean, I would think it would bump up at least to a 3.5. I mean,
oh, probably better than that. I mean, by the time they're done with it, it'd probably be a 4.5, I would think.
Yeah, and I mean that's like almost double what I paid for the book because I bought this for super cheap and.
Yeah, but that work is going to cost more than you paid for the book, probably.
Yeah. So, I just have to see what it costs and all, but
that's
maybe
a
just
resale
ask
book.
them.
Though,
I'd
right?
send them pictures and ask them their opinion if it's something they would want to. I would start with Phantom Restoration because he does books like that more often. The other guy, Sanderson Studios. I mean, he's working with
yeah, he sounds like take a loan out kind of guy. I don't think I'll mess with him.
Yep. So
because I mean, like this book's gonna go up regardless. I mean, it's just one of those that will. But I mean, basically earlier this year, like we were gonna buy a house and it didn't work out. So my wife's like, all right, so I don't really want to do stock market. Do you have any books that you would think would be good to invest in long term? Or I was like, well, yeah, actually I do. And so I wanted to pick one that I wouldn't be so attached to. So crazy enough, Wolverine, Hulk 181, it was. If I would have found a 180, I would have had to keep my first appearance of Wolverine, but the second appearance, I could give that one up.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I had my 180 before my 181, and my wife bought it for me.
Nice.
And she was like, well, what book do you want? Like, what's your grail book? And I was like, I know a lot of people are after that 181, but I want 180 because that's the real first appearance. So I chose to get the 180. And then, about a year later, that was like my first big book. And then about a year later, that's right. About a year later, it all snowballed into a 181. So it worked out, but
yeah, I mean, I've got
Joe's talking about Hero Restoration. I've heard of them, but I haven't actually seen any of their work from start to finish. Whereas Phantom Restoration does a nice, page by page through Instagram. Like you send them a book and you get updates on every part of the process, and it's public, so everyone gets to see, just how it's really cool. It's like a nice little experience, to watch. Everyone gets to see your book get restored. So, and the whole point of Phantom Restoration is it's not going to get anything but a blue label by the time it's done. So that's kind of, whereas Sanderson Studios, he's usually working towards purple because he's adding entire spines to some of these books. Sometimes he ends up with just a piece of the book and then he has to build around it. That's crazy.
I'm looking them up now. Phantom.
Chris Barrett saying, what? No DS? As in DS to restore a book? No. DS is virtually opposed to all that. He'll clean a book, and he hasn't been cleaning as long as I have. He only got into it because when he saw me doing it, he figured, well, if that idiot can do it, I can. So, it was totally valid, a totally valid point. But he was seeing some of the results I was getting, and he was like, man, I need to start doing that. Yeah. Yeah, and you can just look through the stuff that he does, and he, specializes in bronze and silver. So
I would doubt.
That guy's legit. You can tell him I sent you.
Yep. Hopefully that won't cost me more, but
no, it shouldn't. And I've talked with the guy at Phantom I've actually spoken more to the guy at Sanderson Studios. We had a few long conversations about restoration techniques and stuff, but that guy's he's on a whole nother level. Like I'd love to just live at his little laboratory for like a month and soak up all the information. But he's pretty tight-lipped. And he was an apprentice under rare book restoration. So he learned through that process and then applied it to comics.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it ain't nothing for old Bubs to throw some Scotch tape on a book.
No Scotch tape. Some document tape though. I will tape up a book. I like the presentation to be as close to perfect as it can get.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Jason, what do you think, man? I know you've probably got more books than everybody here. I was talking earlier about well, I seen this man gonna walk out with 40 long boxes every time I see him, and then go back to the same shop in 2 months and get another long box. I'm like, bro, these the same books.
Yeah. Well, a lot of those I sell, but
Yeah.
I do have 9,700 comics in my collection.
So do you ever think about trimming it down at all, or
All the time.
yeah?
But then I buy more than I sell. So, I was going to ask Bub. I know he did the whole video series where he was culling out his collection, and
yeah, you joined me for a few of those.
And he had people like DS that would just kind of keep him, under his thumb, like, you don't need this, get out of it, He was trying to find balancing people, that say, oh, keep it, Bub, you want it, you keep it, and then DS like, it's all garbage, get it out of here. It's not golden age, I don't care. So, but yeah, so have you seen your collection creep back up?
Mine?
Yeah, or have you kept it down low?
No, it's crept up again. It's about time for another cull. It got over 2,500 again, and 3,000 is a max, but 25 is comfortable. And it's over 25 again.
Is the max.
Yeah, I got to do something. And I'm doing so well selling off books because, the books I tend to buy for whatever reason increase in value. So, it's hard when I know that I can get double or triple what I paid for them. It's hard to have that strong hand to holding on to it. You know?
And that was why I sold a lot of my big X-Men, was because the value of those books had done tripled by the time that somebody else on this stream appreciates that. So they had done tripled in price from what I had paid for them, and I'm like, I just can't leave that much money sitting in my box. I've got to take some money off the table. So
yeah, I know what you mean. It's tough. It's tough to slim the collection down, and then it's even harder when you realize like you got rid of some awesome, amazing key books, and then you go to the comic shop and you're like, why would I even spend $5 on this new piece of crap when I had way better stuff I just gave away? But you didn't. You sold it, but it feels like I just gave this away,
right? Yeah. And that's what I did with my. So I had a GSX-1, and I sold it. And I immediately regretted selling it. And so I went back and bought another one. Fortunately, before everything went crazy. But yeah, I did the same thing with my Iron Fist 14. I immediately regretted selling it. So that's kind of my cue. Like if I immediately regret
that's the best comic book ever written. That's the most important book in comics.
But yeah, so but in both of those cases, I ended up getting a better deal on the second copy than I did the first.
Oh, nice.
So
you got a smoking deal on that GSX-1 you got.
That one
last year.
Yeah, I bought. You talking about the one I brought to the con last year?
Yeah, it was like super low grade or something.
Yeah, I sold it. I sold that one. So this is actually this is my second copy. So that one was my third copy. I sold it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the one I got now signed by Herb Trimpe, and when I got it, I could tell that it was never pressed, and so I cracked it and got a grade bump on it.
Nice.
He's got a nice signature. I'd like to get some original art by him and get it signed, but that's tough. He's not around here anyway. So.
Well, yeah, he's dead. So.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I thought he just lived in England or something.
No, I think he died in a car wreck. But yeah, he's
okay. Was it in England? I mean, there's a chance for us both to be right here. Let's not shut the door on
that. Now, I did a video. I don't know if it was when I got my Hulk 181 back or not. Somebody commented on the video and told me about this magazine that was really interesting because it has the 181 type pose for Wolverine slashing at Hulk, and it's an interview with Herb, and he tells in there how the face of the Hulk 181 is not his drawn face. That Stan,
Yeah, it's Ramita.
yeah, and so anyways, that book's hard to get. I've been looking for it.
Is it a printing of the one that he drew? Yeah, but is it his?
His original face is on the London.
It's on some international versions, I know.
Yeah. So I've got one that has his original face on it. It was just
I can't tell which I like better. Like I like the one that Ramita did because he's kind of more angry, but I also think he made it a little too small compared to the rest of the body. Like that's why it looks like he's doing that with his head. But the original, how did you pronounce it? Trimpe?
I think it's Trimpe, but
you have your legs crossed, your pinkies out when you say it like that, or or both.
I've always thought that his right pectoral muscle looked weird. Like, I don't know. It just looks.
It's a little saggy. If you've ever met a career waitress, that happens. They hold the tray with one arm.
Right there.
They hold the tray with one arm, so things get a little asymmetrical.
Out of whack, yeah.
Like Nick's gonna be mad when he hears that one on the replay.
Well, didn't they do the same thing for that Hulk annual, where there was two different faces for the Hulk?
Yeah, Steranko had his face changed. Yeah,
yeah, and I finally got that one this year. I think Jason actually tagged me in the one that I bought. I wanted one that was already signed, and I wanted the signature out in front of the knee in the fire. I've always thought that was a perfect signature placement for that one. And I'm not huge on signed books, but when I get one signed or I buy one signed, the signature placement is everything for me. Like that's why, like I was talking last week, like I got to where I hate Stan Lee signature books because like Stan Lee wants to sign over the most important part of the book. Like if he was going to sign a Hulk 181, he's going to expand his signature to go across like right here. So that one to get the signature placement in the right place was pretty cool. But
here you go. This is one of my Stan Lee Sigs, and when I was picking it up, I couldn't. My whole point was to try and find the best Stan Lee place signature on a book that he wrote. So that was what I was going after. So I ended up with this Captain America 103 White Shield variant.
Oh, the white
look
shield.
Look at that placement.
Nice. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good.
I mean, it's like it's like Red Skull is holding the signature, and instead of his usual black crappy marker, it's signed in silver metallic.
Yeah.
And it just really pops.
Fantastic cover too. And you got the Captain America label. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was so mad that they wouldn't bring that back. So when I sent my Captain America 100 in, I could get that label. But yeah, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. Love the placement on that. And that's what I was going after. Cause like you said, there's so much crap out there on his placement of his signature.
I saw somebody on Facebook got a freaking Spawn book signed by Stan Lee, and then it had like an X-Men label on the slab.
Hey man,
that doesn't make sense.
I get it. and as I've said many times before, this is why I've put it out there that we should change our slogan, because people are proving every day that they're not responsible enough to collect their way anymore. So, I mean, Stan Lee signature on Spawn, come on.
You like fair,
I don't know.
Trying to save
it's
people.
Just like Toadman X was talking about grease pencil, where he likes grease pencil. You leave it on a book unless you're going for a 9.8 difference, and that's cool. Doesn't bother me. I think there's good grease pencil and there's bad grease pencil. I have a Flash Gordon #1 Golden Age, and there was grease pencil literally written across the face of the top of it's a bondage cover, and it was literally written across the face of the woman, like with the price in grease pencil. I was like, are you kidding me? So of course I got it for a super cheap price because it totally ruined the look of the book. And I was able to clean that sucker up in 5 minutes, and I was very pleased. So, that's kind of like, I like to find books with a grease pencil, but if they're in the wrong place, I clean it up, man. I can't stand it. But everybody collects their own way and looks for different things. And I'm glad there's books out there with a grease pencil still, because I can get them for cheaper usually.
Yeah. Yeah.
People, it looks like Marco
Like,
to a lot of people. So
yeah. And at first glance, that's what I thought this was on my Marvel Premiere, but I took it out and really looked at it. I was like, no, that's grease pencil. That's not that big a deal. And I really didn't notice it until after I'd got it home. So I was like, it's not that big a deal. I mean,
I love
it's a
that book.
I do too. I mean, as soon as I, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, I got to get that book. And I had it inside of probably a week. I mean,
Yeah.
found it and bought it. And I can't wait to get this one on the wall. So I've got like a slab wall, and I've gotten to the point now where like I get the books graded because they fit nice. Like you can put them up and they look good together that way. But like that's what I want to do with this one, is like get it out of my long boxes in there and get it on the wall so I can look at it every day.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I'm about to, what's today? The 1st, right? Yeah. So this weekend I'm gonna redo my room for Halloween. So I'm gonna have all my horror books and
Nice.
all my scary books. I'm gonna change out. That's like that's actually a real movie poster, like from a local theater.
Mhm.
So I had a chance to go through their archives and pull out some posters, and they sold them to me. So that's gonna be I got an original Underworld poster,
Okay.
like from the Underworld movie. So that's going to be my Halloween one so I'll change that out, and I'll be changing all the books that are on display
Nice.
for horror, mostly werewolves and vampires, but horror anyway.
I've got
Elvira.
There's one book in that kind of category that I do want to get, and I had a raw copy last year that I bought for the Halloween hunt special we did, and I'd love to get a copy and get a graded copy, but I forget what the name of the series is called, but it's a Bernie Wrightson cover. It's got a pumpkin on it with these like monster hands coming out, and then the light is shining through the pumpkin's face and reflecting on the ground in front of it. I think I might have a screenshot of it. Let me see, but it's like probably one of my favorite Bernie Wrightson covers, and I don't know why, but I was just like, man, this thing is awesome. I hated that I got rid of it. I guess I didn't realize I liked it so much until after I got rid of it, and then I was like, man, I really like that book as I was packaging it up. Here it is, Secrets of Haunted House number 5.
Well, let's see it. Oh, that's killer.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah. So I was like, man, that's really, really cool. So that's one I definitely would like to look for at some point again.
Hey, Southern Comic Geek is backstage. I just saw the message. Anybody want to let him in?
That's about the same length of time. Yeah. So.
What's up, B. Ramey? Yeah,
So
Man Cave
Dustin-
saw that
Dustin,
Bernie
you-
Wrightson cover, and he loved that one. He was like,
Yeah,
man, I've
that's
been looking for that for years. Sorry, Jason, what were you saying, man?
No problem. But no, I was going to ask, where you were talking about giving up all your turtle books and stuff like that earlier. Were you going to get rid of your first appearance of Jenica? I mean,
I never wasted the money on that one. So,
Oh, wow.
luckily
Hot
I
take.
saved myself.
Hot take.
Luckily, it's not that hot. I promise. Not on this channel. It's not. Somehow, begrudgingly, I did end up with a couple of the second print copies, but it's okay. I flipped them around inside, so now the back cover is what shows. And the only reason why that's okay is because it kind of goes along with TMNT 3, because they use the same kind of art. But yeah, definitely, I wouldn't even have one of those. But I'll definitely keep my 1 through 10. My second print of number 4, the video game variant, my 4th print number 1, 5th print number 1. The big ones I'll probably keep out of that run, but it's kind of like I put the run together and it was super cool. It's fun to hunt them down, and now I've done it, so I'll make some room for other stuff. I don't know, but it's like I'm reading them through a hardcover, so I don't know. I guess the honeymoon is over, I guess, with having that whole set together. I don't know. I mean, I have a really high grade that I think could probably hit a 9.8 of the very last issue of Volume 1, which is insanely hard to find. I mean, I know Jason's seen that one. I mean, it's like all black. But that one I would probably keep. All right, take it easy, Kyle. But yeah, I mean, I've had so many people asking for turtle stuff, and I know turtles how much of a pain it has been for me to get all of my turtles together in the past year to finish that run up because everything was so expensive. So I'll put them on there, start them at $1, and if I can help other people get them on a deal, like that's cool with me. Because if I hadn't had the shop out here by me, Dave's, who knew I was putting that run together, and I literally found a box of them and hid them for 6 months. And I would just go in there and pull out stacks at a time, and I would hide the box back in the back of the shop again. So nobody knew where they were. And then people would hear me talk about that on here, and Dave's like, "Do you have a box of turtles hid somewhere in this shop?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "I keep having people come in and ask him where your box of turtles are in here, and I have no idea what they're talking about." I was like, "Dude, I don't either." I said, "I just find them in the boxes." I'm like, "Yeah, I got a box of turtles hidden in here, dude. Don't you worry about it."
If you've ever been in Dave's, you know why it's so easy to hide stuff in there.
Right. Right. But I mean, he's such a good dude, and he always gives me a deal on stuff because you know, he knows I'll come in there and spend money with him if he does. But yeah, I mean, I want to keep like all my bigger books and stuff like that, and then some of like my odds and ends stuff. I mean, we've all got those guilty pleasure books. So I mean, you know, Bub's got his cave women stuff, and Justin's got his zombie tramps, and who knows what kind of stuff Jason's got, man. I don't even know. Well, he's got his Valiant stuff.
That could be considered a guilty pleasure by most.
Yeah. Some of it, I mean, I don't know. Any of it to the right collector is worth if it's in good grade. If it's a good grade.
There was something I saw the other day that Valiant did, and it was like right in my wheelhouse. And I was like, man, I didn't know those were Valiants. I bet Jason's got them, but I can't remember what it was now.
You're talking about the Killer Instinct video game books?
I don't know if Valiant did those or not, but
yeah, they did. Acclaim owned.
Okay.
And I've bought Valiant at one point, and so they were doing all that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember what else it was, but like I've got a lot of stuff that was that is from like video games or cartoons and stuff that I watched as a kid when in the 90s. Like I've got I've got two copies of Street Sharks #1. Like that's a super hard book to find. And you know, I've got 2 copies, but I don't want I've got the Hobbit issue #1 that I want to get graded. Like I hope it hits a 9.8.
The Hobbit.
Yeah.
With Valiant? Is that a Valiant book?
No. No, I don't know who the publisher on it is, but it's a square bound book. I mean, in the copy I got really clean copy, but there's actually it's a series. There's 3 books, and I saw that and I was like, man, I've got to have that. That's just too cool. But so I've got stuff like that, but you know, most of the stuff that I'm getting rid of is going to be like new comic book day stuff I bought. You know, I bought a bunch of the Battle Lines variants last year. I've got some Ghost Rider run filler stuff that I've just picked up out of dollar bins and stuff like that. And just stuff that I'm like, I haven't even looked at that book since I bought it. I just bought it because I got on a kick. And, you know, I've got Marvel Spotlight 5. I've got a 8.0 Ghost Rider #1. So do I need all this run filler stuff? Not really. I got the big ones. You know, I got Avengers 4. I got a Cap 100. All I need is a Golden Age, and like I don't need anything else Cap after that. I'm good. So, you know, I'll get rid of some of that stuff. But yeah, I think my wife is gonna she'll be happy about it. She's not pressuring me to do it or anything, but I've always told her like, you know, I can make money on this stuff. I can get my money back on this stuff, and some of it I'll make money on, and you know, use that as a bargaining chip to, hey, let me get this because, you know, we get it now. Who knows? One day. Like she knows about the Something's Killing Children, you know, how big that's blown up. And I sold my whole run and bought a truck with it. But when I went to buy that Walking Dead #1, I was like, you know, Something's Killing Children, how big it is. She said, yeah. I said, this is the book that's why. I said, this book is why. I said, so I was like, I need to get this book. And, you know, she was cool with it. So. But
are you going to regrade that PGX slide?
I am absolutely 100% going to get that one regraded. I've got a waiting list in here of books that I want to get walkthrough at CGC. My Walking Dead #1, this Hulk 181, that Mortal Kombat 9.2, and my Ninja Turtles #1. I want to get all of those done through the walkthrough, but you got to get them pressed and cleaned, and didn't want to spend the amount of money. I mean, it's $150 a pop pretty much with shipping to do a walkthrough. And now walkthroughs went from being a 1 day to an 8 day. So I was kind of waiting for everything to kind of calm down some. And I want to use CBCS for some stuff, but then I'm like, all my stuff is already CGC. And if I put something up there that's different, it's going to just make my brain explode. And it's not that I just love CGC, but all my other stuff is already CGC. So I guess I'll keep paying the devil. I don't know. But who knows? Maybe I'll send an Ultimate Fallout 4 facsimile that I have in and see what happens. I mean,
I have to fight the urge not to send stuff to PGX because I really like the case and I really like the label. So
yeah, I've got a first gen case.
Fight.
I hate it.
Well, that's probably one of the old cases.
Yeah, it is. It's an older one, and I don't like it at all. It doesn't fit in my on my slab wall that I built. It's really loose in there compared to the other books. But then I've got like some second gen CGC cases that are like super thick compared to the new ones. My Killing Joke #1, my Hulk annual, and like those are like really thick. So I kind of want to get those reholdered so that they'll fit up there a little better. But
yeah,
I don't know. But
I don't know. They messed up my Hulk annual. That's about the only reason that I haven't sent more stuff to them is my last order, because really CBCS for verified SIGs, it's just too expensive. It's like $50 a book. Time it breaks down. I hate spending that kind of money on a book I already own and I already know the signature's valid.
And I've got one that I was going to send through them, but I don't even know if I can get it verified because it's Jack Kirby. So I don't even know if they can verify.
I don't think they do Kirby or Stan Lee.
Yeah, so like that was the only one I was going to use was my Kirby signed Cap 112. I pulled it out to take a picture of it. So when I bought the book, I took pictures of it, and then I pulled it out one more time to take a picture of it, and I swear, I think I popped a staple on the bottom, and it almost made me cry. So I was like, I'm just going to put this book back in here and never touch it again, but I'll know that I have a Kirby signature.
I remember you did that live. And I remember because you were showing it off to me, and I felt so bad.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay. Yeah. But I mean, I got a Kirby signed Captain America book. To me,
that's awesome.
It's hard to get better than that.
Absolutely. Right? That's so awesome.
I mean, I paid.
You okay there, Jason? Did some of your kids escape from the free comics van that you drive around? Sketchiest van in the state. You drive around a little white van with a black magic marker says free comics on the side.
Yeah. Well, and I talking about PGX. Of course, I did that video where I sent in or resubmitted one to CBCS that came from PGX. But overall, when I was dealing with them before CBCS changed their cases and their pink label, before that, I was sending it to PGX as opposed to CGC, for lesser value books, things I just wanted to present nicely.
You didn't. Yeah, like your grade didn't suffer, did it? Oh, did it?
Mm-hmm. But
maybe it was something else I was thinking.
Here's my feeling on that, and everyone's gonna have their own opinion. So I've used all three companies. I've sent to all three companies I received back. I've sent different types of books, and in some cases the same types of books, of course. But to me, you have an opinion of what the grade is. The fictitious potential buyer out there who's going to snag this from your big collection has a potential idea of what that grade is. So basically that person, to me, that second person is the rest of the world, any individual out there. And then the third party is the grading company. And that's why they're considered third party, because there has to be a first two party to have a necessity for the third party. in order to say, well, here's a professional, impartial person who's not going to make any money off this transaction, even though we can get into that in another way, right? How they make their money, but they're a third party. So whenever you crack and resubmit to another company, in my opinion, you're just getting a fourth party, a fifth party, a sixth party. You're just making it a big old party of grading. And at that point, like it upsets me when people say, well, PGX grade was wrong. CGC's grade was wrong. And CBCS grade was right. Then what you're only saying is that CBCS gave you the grade that you thought the book really was.
Right.
But the other two companies weren't necessarily wrong. They just had their opinion of what the grade was. And you went and got so many freaking opinions that now you don't have an answer anymore because you got 5 people. And guess what? 3 of them don't agree with you. So you got one company to agree with you. Doesn't mean you were right. It doesn't mean that company was right. It just means you got 2 people to agree out of 5. So you're asking for too many opinions.
Yeah.
And whenever you do that, you're probably going to be upset because the likelihood that every one more person you ask agrees with you is pretty slim. So you're just going to make yourself mad if you start cracking and resubmitting. And now if you're doing it because you think CGC grades better or you think that they're worth more, then that's another issue. But to say that the grade is correct and this grade is wrong and this company sucks because I got CGC books that are way overgraded. I got CGC, in my opinion, that are way undergraded. Some are just flat out wrong. I got a book with a hole that goes from front cover to back, and it's got a 9.6 from CGC. PGX, I've never had a problem with their grading, but the last batch of books I got from them, which has been like 3 years now ago, I haven't used them since, they all came back damaged in shipping. And they tried to say, well, it wasn't their fault. But the fact of the matter is, I didn't pack the damn things. They stuffed them too tight in a USPS, simple $15, medium flat rate box. And they were just too tight in there and they were bulging in the corners. So, when that USPS, threw that sucker on the truck, is going to hit those corners. Cases were all cracked and the inner wells popped on all of them. And the books, each of the books slid and got damaged. Now, they weren't high grades, so I wasn't crying about that. I was able to fix the damage. It just got bent in the corners, but they all got bent. So it's like, so you damaged my books, and then now they made it right, whatever that looks like, right? But in the end, I haven't used them since, so that tells you something,
Yeah.
So they all screw up. CBCS, I've had the most frustrating customer service experience with them, but overall it turned out okay. I still got my books, so they all suck.
Yeah, well, you're right. And like I had my Marvel Premiere first appearance of Iron Fist. It was a PGX 7.0. When I sent it to CGC to get Roy Thomas to sign it, it came back an 8.0. So it does work both ways, to your point. And, PGX had messed up on, they had a hair inside the inner well. They wanted me to crack the slab to reach in there and pull it out. I said, I'm not doing that. And furthermore, you want me to pay to ship it back. So they did grade another book for me for free. And that's where I would say they separate themselves from CGC, because CGC says, oh, sorry.
Did you keep the slab with the hair in it then?
No, I sent it back to them.
Oh, okay. And they fixed it. They redid it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had foreign objects in both CBCS cases and CGC cases. They both encased with crap in them.
Yeah, I've never done it with CBCS, but I have with CGC. And then they're just like, well, okay, whatever. I mean, and they're just so nonchalant. When they tore the cover off my book, don't matter.
That was horrible. I couldn't believe that they just tried to blow that off.
Yeah.
And you're right on CBCS. I mean, in person, I've been to cons. They actually had people that work for CBCS at the Huntsville Expo. Super nice, but dealing with foreign customer service is aggravation and a half.
It is. See, now I had a bad experience with some of their reps, and so I did a little test run to see how easy it was to become a rep, and I was approved in 3 days. So basically, they just they'll let anybody witness grading. Pretty much, they're very, very, very loose in their requirements. So what happened, I went to one convention and got a book signed by Steranko, and it was a cat book. and I dealt with the CBCS, representatives. But really, all they are people like me who submit an application to them. They get rubber stamped approved. You never meet anybody, never talk on the phone, nothing. It's all via email. And you get a rubber stamp approval to witness signatures. And then you have to pay for your own CBCS banner, your own tablecloth, everything to look like your CBCS. You pay for all that. And of course, you pay for your booth space. And then you submit to them what conventions you're going to be at. And they will, and then that way they can put it on their website if they have representation there or not. And if there's already representation there, I think they have the right to tell you no, that we already have somebody there, don't go or whatever. But anyway, what this one particular, because shipping is such a hard way to make money, right, with all the shipping costs. So what this particular grader or what this particular witnesser was doing was they were going to multiple conventions over the course of the summer and keeping all the books in storage that had been signed and just keeping them in top loaders ready to go. And then they were driving to CBCS at the end of the summer to physically hand over all the books without having to ship them.
Wow.
And I was like, so I'm like, with CBCS, tons of books were missing, of course, right? And they were like, yes, well, this happens. And then they explained it to me. They were like, well, the independent witnessers, they don't really, we don't have the books. I said, what are you talking about? I handed it to somebody wearing a freaking CBCS shirt, hat, banner. Dude was there. You had it promoted saying you were at this convention. And then they explained to us that they don't actually work for us. And you gave your book to a stranger. And until we receive the book, we're not responsible for it. I was like, so that's what was going on.
So did you actually get the books or?
Yeah, it was 9 months, but CBCS only took 2 months to grade it. For 7 months, the book didn't actually get to them. So it was lost in the collection of these witnessers who were going from con to con to pick them all up. And then they drove them all in one batch. And this was told to me by, back then, they had a human, in America that was answering. They only switched to that recently, to the overseas crap. And there was an actual human being I was able to talk to here in America that explained to me how that works. Now, you could never get that information from your current. They have humans across the pond and in India and they just tell you anything. Like, they don't even know the rules. They don't. And that's one of the more recent problems I had with CBCS is that they just say whatever they want. And like, you ask them a question, like, yes. Like, so you're telling me I can send this book and you'll slab $100 bill in the centerfold? Yes. Like, what I said, it's messed up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't understand how there's not more mistakes. I mean, if you've ever been to a big con and you see all these people bombarding, whether it's CGC or CBCS, with their stack of books, and then you got one guy running around trying to watch everybody sign these books. I mean, it's 7 wonders you don't have more problems like that.
Yeah, I agree. It's nerve-wracking to submit books that way.
So what you're telling me is that all I need to do is find myself the uniform that CGC or CBCS uses, bring like a small little table, just make a little sign that says CBCS approved or whatever, and people will just start giving me books, right?
Yeah.
I believe yes.
Okay, well then
I believe yes. I mean, as sad as it is, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it looks like I know what I'm doing at C2E2.
That's good. You better bring a big panda head where nobody can see it and hide inside of that.
Going on.
You might still get it though. You be careful.
There you go, panda. You can put your little logo out there.
Is that a duck's foot? What is that? That looks like a damn Mighty Ducks over here.
It looked like that footprint from what was it, Jenny Zero or whatever? Did you guys ever see that? Man,
is that Jenica? Don't say that name here. You get in trouble.
You can't say that.
Yeah, you can't say that around us, man.
You don't like her either?
Austin likes to push my buttons and be like, well, Jenica's his favorite character. I'm like, oh, no. I hate it.
We're real turtle collectors over here.
Right, exactly.
So,
bro, I'm telling you right now, I am so not even gonna read Ronin 5. I'm done with Ronin.
Why? I mean,
Are you
I
really?
didn't see.
No, explain this. Why? What? It's
Yeah,
the
because the
last
last one's
issue.
okay to me. I don't get it.
I think hundreds of people bought that book because you were so high on it. So you got some splaining to do, mister.
Well, the story just took a hard left turn to like Garbageville.
Well,
Like
it started with issue 3 and then 4. Yeah.
well, with 4,
Just
we
someone-
realized what the last Ronin is actually about now. Like, it's not actually about Michelangelo. It's not even about the death of the Turtles or Splinter. It's going to be about Casey Jones,
Daughter. Yeah.
the female Casey Jones, and her now being mutated, and she's going to, like, obviously Michelangelo is going to die. I've said from the beginning, if he doesn't die in the last issue, like, I'll be disappointed. Like, that has to happen. But
Wow.
when Michelangelo dies, well, it's okay because Casey Jones' daughter is has the mutation, and she'll be able to save and protect everyone. So the whole story is for naught at that point. Like, it doesn't matter that they all died because we have Casey Jones' daughter now.
Hmm.
And I'm just
Oh,
like,
I thought you were saying Casey Jones mutated into a girl.
no. So
Okay.
they came up with a whole new. They came
I
up with a
didn't know
whole new
what I don't know where that was going. I mean,
Yeah.
that'd be a waste of a mutation because you could just go to a clinic these days and get that done. Like, you didn't even get any special powers. It just some
Just
things
that
shrank,
blue
some things grew, but you could have got that done. You know.
No, like so Casey Jones had a daughter in volume 1 with another female, but he and April raised her, and her name was Shadow Jones. And in
better
the
name.
last Ronin, which was written in the 80s and is supposed to be based off of the same deal as the Mirage run, well, they decided we're going to give Casey Jones and April a daughter. It's not going to be Shadow though. We're going to name her Casey Jones, so that, like, we're replacing Casey Jones with this young female character. And so they've been building her up like throughout the series, but I never thought they would go to the point of she's been hanging around the turtle, or because Casey Jones and April were hanging around the turtles for so long, they like, I guess mutate the turtle's mutation is now contagious, and somehow their daughter has it, and she's gonna so now, like, she has mutated abilities, and so that's where this story looks to be leading, is like she's going to be the messiah that saves everything at the end. And to me, the buildup of what this story was told, what we were told it was going to be, the direction it was being built up in, and now that's where it's going. It's just like, look, the IDW run is already completely has nothing to do with the 4 turtles anymore. You look at the last 5 covers, I don't even think they're on there. You've got Jenica and like 5 of the other female characters that aren't even turtles, but they're all a part of the Turtle Clan now. Like, you don't even have to be a turtle anymore.
They all got bandanas. They all got
we
bandanas.
got a fox on there. There's a dog, a triceratops. Like, what is going on with the turtles here?
Mona Lisa.
So
Mutations.
I'm just gotten to the point. I'm just like, man, like, I'm so over
This
it.
current IDW run, that what's her name, Campbell, she is ruined.
Yeah,
the turtles
Sophie
for me.
Campbell.
Yeah, Sophie
Yeah.
Campbell.
Nev Campbell? Who is it? Campbell
No,
Soup?
Sophie Campbell.
Sophie Campbell?
Yeah, I think Nev Campbell would be preferable to this one, but you know,
Yeah.
IDW lost the Star Wars and other Marvel properties here lately. I mean, they're already not on financial solid ground. I mean, it would only take losing a big thing like the Turtles to just kind of put them under. So
Yeah, and like, I don't see much of it ever moving at my shop. Like, I talk to John all the time, and he's like, yeah, he said all my turtle guys except for 2 dropped turtles last year, and I've had like 4 of you guys say you're dropping Ronin, like 1 issue left to go, and I've already had to order them. He's like, that kind of sucks. He's like, not that I'm worried about it. He's like, it just sucks that the story went that south, that I've had this many of you guys that don't want to even read it now. And I'm like, yeah.
Right.
So, and Nick
Right.
even said, when I said last week, Nick was like, did you read Ronin? I was like, I don't even want to talk about it. And he was like, oh my God, what are you over exaggerating about now? And then he read it and he was like, okay, this one time I can agree with you. He's like, this was ridiculous. He's like, most of the time you just overreact and blah, blah, blah. But he said, I can agree with you this time. So I was like, okay, well, cool. I'm glad I'm not crazy, you know. And plus, yeah,
Is
well,
that really your
yeah,
only test, though?
yeah.
Do we need
We kind of
okay.
talked about that earlier in the live stream. You know,
Okay. I was thinking-
I definitely am, but
True, and
um,
Greg is right there. I mean, he said, I still haven't read Ronin because I don't even care anymore," and that's where a lot of us have been.
yeah,
Especially with the long wait times in
Mhm.
between each issue.
Yeah,
that
Like,
didn't
is
even
bad.
kill it for me.
That's
Really,
been
really, that
bad.
didn't even
killing
kill it for me. But when they dropped this issue 4 crap on us after waiting
Mhm.
all that time, I was
Mhm.
like, we had to wait all this time for y'all to go this route. Like,
And
and on top of that, like she looks like Dick Grayson Nightwing. Like if you open the book up, it looks identical to Dick Grayson Nightwing. Like no joke at all. The
with the
suit,
haircut
her
and everything.
hair, everything.
I'm
It's like,
confused. I'm so confused right now.
dude, it's
So
like
Casey Jones got a mutation, turned into a girl, and she still looks like a dick. What is going on? I
Next,
need
every
subtitles. I have to rewind this and watch it with subtitles. I don't know what the heck's going on.
it's crazy, man. It's ridiculous, and I'm just like, and it really hurts my feelings so bad because
Mhm.
the first issue was so good, and then we got the second issue, and it was great, and then they started throwing in like the black and white, old Mirage looking artwork in there, and I loved that.
That was
And I've heard a lot of people complain about that, but I'm
Yeah.
like, if you
No,
have
I
never
thought it
read
was
the
cool.
original, like that's not going to really click with you. And then we get to this issue, and I'm like, this death of Splinter and Donatello, they gave us nothing there. Like there was no,
so
all you got
underwhelming
to see was Donatello's staff sticking up with some
with a
arrows
couple
in it.
arrows.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, like, how is that supposed to make me kind of? It brings out no emotion. Like you just killed off the last 2 guys in the clan, and there was you literally brought no emotion out of me about it. I could care less because there's nothing there for me to see. With Raphael, they really did a great job of giving you the visual of that. And the same thing with Casey Jones and Leonardo, like the big lead up, and you didn't see as much as you did with Raphael, but I still felt like you saw a
It was
little
an
bit more.
explosion. I mean, it was an
Yeah.
explosion. I mean, what else can you?
Yeah, I mean,
But
you just got
I
turtle
think they
chunks everywhere.
punked him
Somehow
out
Casey
on
Jones'
4.
mask made it through. I don't know how his mask made it, but his mask made it. But don't worry, his daughter's gonna have that on in the next issue, guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
But yeah, I was super disappointed with the Ronin, and I did feel bad because I'm like, man, I've been like
Hyping it up.
the last Ronin police out here with anything I can come up with and find out, like trying to keep everybody interested in it as much as I can. And then now I'm like, and I've had people ask, like, are you gonna do a review on 4? I'm like, bro, you don't want that. I promise. Like, you don't want that. The last Ronin don't want that. it's it's not gonna be the review you think. So
And Splinter was so uncharacteristic in that whole thing. You know what I
but I
mean?
kind
Like,
of liked it, bro, because we kind of got
no,
to
no,
see
no.
the
Okay,
most savage Splinter we've ever
okay.
seen.
That part is not the part that I'm talking about. It's the part where, you live to see another day. Okay, you might have lost the fight, but you live to see another day by
Oh yeah,
retreating.
his
You know,
determination to end it right then. Yeah,
why? Why was it so? Why was he so gung
yeah,
ho about
yeah,
going after it? And like that was so uncharacteristic of him.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But like him going savage and slicing everybody's heads off, that was the best Master Splinter I think I've ever seen. But also at the very end, so uncharacteristic of him as well. So it was just like, I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
There was just a lot that I didn't like about issue 4. And the price point as well for $8.99, I feel like I should be getting like, a preview book. You know what I'm saying? Like it shouldn't. And plus, with it being a bigger size than usual, like
Yeah.
what'd you
Yeah,
do? You
for
just
sure.
zoomed in all the way.
I was getting fussed at for being so small.
I feel bad for all the people
Used to
that
that. Your wife
invested so
does that
much
to you
into
all
it.
the time, right, Bub?
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, why not?
That's what she said.
Should be bigger and some things should be smaller. That's how it is. We gotta get some of that mutation going.
There you go. Well, that only works for female character leads. The mutation only works for female character leads. Hey, so last night I was on Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy's channel, and they asked me. They
Oh
said,
yeah, I missed some of that.
They said if you could write, for the big two, which books would you take over, and why? I said X-Men because I'm tired of, for Marvel. I would say X-Men
Hickman?
because X of Swords was very underwhelming.
Talk about
They're
Hickman,
not
John.
doing anything with Hickman's stuff. And I said, well,
Yeah.
I also add IDW because there are 4 turtles.
Yeah,
Enough said.
exactly.
It's not even about turtles anymore. So
Not 5
They're
anymore.
not even in it. They're not even
No,
in it. It's
or
all about the female empowerment, which I get, but give them their own series. Call them, the Mutanimals that we had from way back in the day, and then give them all new identities there.
if
Don't
Jenica can
justify
set,
why are you doing it?
if you're in a business to sell widgets, you want to make the widget that everybody wants to buy. It's not that, oh, well, they just don't know that they want to buy it yet. No, we don't want it. Okay. And if
Let me ask you a question real quick, Jason. Let me just ask you: is Kermit the Frog really involved in this transaction? Because I don't think Kermit's coming after your widgets.
This is Marlon Morrison, the Manhunter.
I think he prefers to eat pork. Last I heard, he prefers to eat pork. I don't think he's spending money on your spare widgets.
No. But I would like them to. And IDW thinks that
That's
everybody should spend their money on Jenica. Well, how many copies of Jenica sold versus the regular TMNT?
Yeah.
That's a good
And
point.
people are buying the TMNT just because they want to complete that run. It's not that they're interested in it anymore.
The last thing that I bought out of that run was when Toka and Razor showed up, and that was it. And that was it, but
It was like
and Jason, we've talked about this before, it's like whoever they're putting Jenica and all these other animals in here for, are those people buying the books because you're turtle fans that have been supporting and making this worth writing for years? We are not.
We're out.
We are not buying that at all. I mean, you've got 3 guys here that are total turtle nerds from day one. Like, we don't care. We don't want it. We're not buying it. We ain't looking at it.
I didn't know what that was.
So
yeah, that's the original drawing of Michelangelo, the first one ever.
Yeah, that was the very first.
Does he have a tail? Is that a tail at the bottom?
Yeah.
Yes, that's his tail. The turtle tail.
I remember that they had tails originally, or supposed to.
And
Yeah,
you're part of the
too,
Kevin Eastman Club, right, Jason? That's where you got that from?
That's where I got this from, yeah.
Yeah.
They made an action figure of that Michelangelo.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, it's black and white. I saw one for sale on Facebook today for like $400.
Whoa.
Forget it.
Yeah. And they said that was like, people kept saying that was cheap on there too. And I was like,
shoot,
that much money.
Yeah, even B. Ramey. So B. Ramey was he was putting together a run of the TMNT for IDW, every Eastman cover. Like, he even stopped buying them. I mean, I don't know who
and I know that has to bother him so bad because he's a completist too. You know what I mean? Like,
so that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know who they're writing this stuff for, but it's not the turtle guys because we're out. I mean, and there's like I said, there's like 8 turtle guys at our shop, and John was like,
and they're all looking for that box you hid.
It's at my house now.
Yeah.
But like the last turtle book, and I haven't even got it to the house yet, but I bought the last turtle book that I'm probably going to buy, which was the TMNT number 4 second print, the Nintendo video game cover. And I've got them all now. Like, I've got everything turtle wise that I could want outside of a first or second print, which I've got a 3rd print that's super high grade, and I'm perfectly content with that. So, it's like, I don't see me buying, and I mean, unless they were to restart it under someone else, maybe a different publisher. I don't know.
It'll all be the same
I would
anyway.
love to see a different publisher at this point because I think IDW has just run it to the ground and they have no idea what to do. And the art, the interiors have been awful, the storylines have been awful, and then trying to do a last ditch effort by throwing Toka and Razor in there made no sense whatsoever. I read it just because I'm still collecting it, and I'm collecting all the B covers for Eastman, but my God, I'm done reading it, man. I'm done reading trash. Like, I'm only collecting just because I'm hoping Sophie Campbell's going to be coming off here pretty soon, which I heard she is. So I'm hoping to pick it up from there and just start reading it from there. But at the same time, I'm not excited for it at
Yeah.
all. You know,
And I
so
don't even
just
think I would like to see like a Boom Studios take it. I think maybe Image would be better. I
Mhm.
don't think a lot of the artists that work through Boom, I don't like most of the a lot of the art from Boom is great for those titles, but I haven't seen anything that I think would be great for like the Turtles, like even
yeah.
the Rangers, like that art's been so garbage for so long. Like once it went straight anime Dragon Ball looking, like I was just like,
gonna
nah,
say
I'm
once
done.
Dan Mora left,
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy the art, the interior artwork, but that was also one of the main reasons why I liked Once and Future for so long was because of Dan Mora's interior art with it. I mean,
Mhm.
and the covers he did were great too.
Yeah, Dan Mora's he's great, man. He does
Mhm.
really good stuff. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'd love to see um someone pick up the Mortal Kombat. I can't believe we didn't get a new series with the movie coming out. I mean, the last series they did was from DC Comics, which was the Mortal Kombat X, which was
Mortal Kombat X.
45 years ago when that video game came out, which that was actually a really cool read. I actually thought that one was really cool. They ripped all 4 of Goro's arms off and sent him back to his clan, and that was pretty
dope.
cool.
I liked the movie. All right.
I
I
did
didn't
too.
think it was
I
too
thought it
bad.
was.
I
Yeah,
thought it was good
good.
enough. It could have definitely supported a comic run, a new video game, even though they keep those coming out pretty regularly.
Yeah,
But it definitely could have supported more. It was solid.
yeah, and they're doing more. Like their plan with it. I mean, that one ended up being pretty successful, all things considered, for a low budget film, especially. And they want to do at least 3 more, if not more than that. They kind of want it. They've thrown around the terms of opening up a MCU style universe for Mortal Kombat, which
I
there's
hope not.
more than enough characters to do it. But I mean,
There is, but
I
don't
think
try.
if
I
they
don't know
just
why everyone wants to replicate the MCU.
exactly,
That is rarely the case,
yeah,
but it rarely works.
It does.
Everybody
You're
wants
right.
to
I mean,
world
Warner
build, but it
Brothers
just yeah.
And I
And given time, when it's all said and done, Marvel will have more unsuccessful movies than successful movies.
yeah,
We're here at the beginning of it still. If they continue on their trajectory, and at some point, the crappy movies will outweigh the good ones. It's just a matter of time. So even their model, the great start that they had, won't be able to be continued ongoing.
hopefully
will
those will
eventually
not
crash
start
and
with
burn.
X-Men and Fantastic Four, though.
Yeah, I agree. I
I
agree.
hope
That'll
that-
be. It's going to be tough. At least I think Fantastic Four is just. Forgive the pun, but it's doomed. It's a doomed property. It can't be salvaged.
I
it
had
doesn't
never
work.
seen any of them, so last night I sat down and watched the most recent one with Michael B. Jordan in it.
Oh man, it's
why-
I don't know how it's unwatchable.
Oh my
Yeah, why
god!
did
Like
you
I
watch that?
love Michael B. Jordan. He's probably one of my favorite, if not
Mhm.
my favorite actors. And
Really?
he
Not the
couldn't even
one.
save it. He couldn't even save it for me. The worst thing was when Doom came out. I was like
Doom was
okay.
worse.
I'm like, is he gonna put a mask on? Like he's got to put a mask on. That's not gonna be his face. And then that was his face. I'm like, I even I had to screenshot it and put it on Instagram. I'm like, why does nobody talk about how bad this is? I've never heard about this. How terrible this looks.
You got an Instagram? Hold up, let me follow it. Put it
Okay.
drop a link. Somebody drop a link in the chat. Let me check this.
But I could not believe, like it was so boring to start with. And then all the characters are like teenagers too. Like, I don't like that.
It was stupid.
Yeah, like the whole thing. So I haven't watched the first. I think I have seen the Silver Surfer one because I heard everybody talking about the Galactus blob, and I was really disappointed with that. And I recently kind of got to where I kind of want to, and I was actually talking to Kenny, Comic Kid 84, because I know he loves Silver Surfer and Galactus, and I was like, I kind of want to go on like a Galactus rabbit hole reading dive, and so he sent me some stuff to read. But I was like, I've always thought the character was cool, but I've never read much of it. And all that I have read, like he's just been kind of treated like a punk, like some second-rate B-list villain that is just, yeah, like how do you just treat this guy this badly? And he's supposed to be one of the biggest bads there is, but
I mean, here's what they're all shitting on. Oh, excuse me. They're all crapping on.
It wasn't me.
Hey, I was doing good. I really. I was proud of myself till then. You can
I know,
bleep that
right?
out, Nick, on the replay. So when everyone's talking bad about the original Fantastic Four movies and the galactic farts that Chris Berry put, but at least in my opinion, they were entertaining movies by themselves. They're disappointing to comic fans because we know how much better they could have been.
Yeah.
But by themselves, they're entertaining movies. That last Fantastic Fan Four Stick or whatever they call it, it was not even entertaining as a movie. It failed on every level. The acting's bad. The graphics are bad. The plot is stupid. The villains aren't scary or menacing.
Ben Grimm didn't even wear shorts.
It's horrible.
I was like, why is Ben Grimm not at least wearing shorts, bro? What's going on here?
What is he wearing? Nothing? Has he got just
nothing? Yeah, he's out there
rocking out with his rocks out.
Yeah. I'm just like, what is going on here, man? And like, I've never read any Fantastic Four, so I have relative knowledge of it, and I was still just like, well, this is wrong, and this is wrong, and that doesn't make sense, and this is wrong, and so
you guys have more relative knowledge in Georgia than we do in Kentucky, don't you? That's what I heard.
That's saying something right there.
Not as much as Alabama or Mississippi. So
keeping it in the family.
Yeah, I've got family. Half my family's from Mississippi, and Nick lives in Alabama. So, but
oh man,
I've said before, like I kind of feel like Marvel has ruined any kind of movie that has to do with comics for everybody that's not made by Marvel that ends up being a Iron Man 1 or Avengers tier movie, because that expectation has been set. So people hate Venom because it's not a great comic book movie. People are, they hate all of the, the X-Men movies. I liked a lot of those. Like I thought, the first few.
Yeah, they're not all bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them are good. And even the bad ones have some cool moments in them at least.
Right. And I watched all those with zero knowledge of comics at the time. I had no idea about anything about comics. I knew they came from comics, but I'd never looked at a book. So the watchability factor, I loved it and watched them many, many times. But now you got the MCU pumping out these great comic book movies, and it makes everything else look subpar, even to the point where their own movies start to look like trash if it doesn't, meet that expectation that we've set for the MCU now. So
yeah,
it's definitely put DC in a hole.
Well, look at Aquaman. I mean, Aquaman made what? Did it make $1 billion? I mean, it was one of their more successful movies.
They made an Aquaman movie?
I still can't watch it. I still can't watch it. I've tried. I can't get halfway through that movie. Now, I've seen it all the way through and regretted it. And then I thought, well, I'll try it again. But I still can't watch it and enjoy it. It's so poorly acted. Like, the acting is just horrific. All the way through, there's no shining light in that movie. Everyone can't act. Like, it's equally bad acting across the board. And then they tease like this big war at the end. And then instead the finale is, well, we avoided the war. Are you kidding me? I was looking to see some big, aqua battles, and it was all too dark. And the CGI is like muddled because it's all underwater. It just sucks. And I thought it looked good. Like everyone, like all the characters were well cast as far as how they looked, but that was it, man. It's terrible.
I'll tell you what,
and people all hate Wonder Woman 84. I thought that was pretty good. Like I thought that was watchable. It was enjoyable, and as long as you didn't pay too much for it, it wasn't bad.
What's watchable? Gal Gadot? I mean, is that why you want to watch that?
I was going to say, Gal Gadot running around.
There's plenty of wine moms out there that are watching Jason Momoa or whatever the hell his name is with it on mute, watching Aquaman on mute. So I can watch Wonder Woman 84 on mute all day. I got no problems.
My thing is Marvel better bring it hard with Namor, because they took a goober like Aquaman and made him look badass.
Reasons, Chris.
Like if you can make a goober like Aquaman badass, you got Namor is a badass, so you better pick somebody good for Namor. A lot of people think I've heard a lot of people say like if they bring him in, like he'll be subpar, but I think he gets so much disrespect for being such an important character to Marvel Comics. Like he's as much comic book royalty as Captain America. I mean, he's one of the first guys. So
first mutant, right?
I'm like, he's got.
Yeah,
to
they
come
retconned
in.
him into the first mutant.
Yeah. I mean, Marvel Comics #1, like he's got to come in and make a bang in the MCU, and I want that for him anyway. Panda needs to play Namor.
So I'll be whale shark.
There's your boy Namor, right there,
Yeah,
throwing
look
a
at that, dude.
torpedo.
Always just looks so friggin' just mean and mad.
That's-
I love that Human Torch. I love those Golden Age Human Torch.
1942.
So
And
see,
there's
I would
Namor
grab a
throwing
book
the
too, but
torpedo.
then Bub's going to show me up with his golden age. But yeah, this is the Silver Age Namor number 8. So he's
I'm
got
not
Who'd
gonna
you get
grab
number
my
from that one?
my Namor #1 7.0 off the wall over here, but it's over here.
I bought Kenny's.
Oh yeah,
His purple label, Namor
Nice.
#1.
I
Off
wanted to
him.
buy
He didn't
this.
give me a very good deal on it either.
I wanted
which,
to buy
which
this.
I mean, here's all I'm not fussing or complaining. I mean, obviously, I took the deal, but it was like pretty much market value, which is hard to do for a purple label, right? It's restored, so it just has some glue on it. It was like, how do you even know what the real value is? So we're kind of guesstimating the value. But here's the deal: he was only selling it because he got a replacement given to him as an AOK. So I'm like, dude, you got an AOK. You could probably at least let me have the book for what you paid for it, you know? I think that's pretty fair. You're out of this book. You got a better book because it's not restored. And it was given to you. You got the whole story behind it. Pay it forward. And he's like, nah, dude, what's the market value on that? But help me figure out what the exact price is where you're not getting a deal. I'm like, oh, damn. I did buy it though. So and it went up since then. So it's all good.
There you
It was
go.
before the boom.
I wanted to buy this at Lexington. I just thought that Schoenberg cover awesome Human Torch cover.
You should have bought it.
I just bought that was the same booth that I bought the Walking Dead #1 from like 2 hours prior, and then I went back and started digging through their boxes. They had it at $500.
You should have traded that
4.0.
Walking Dead 1 back.
Do what?
You should have traded that Walking Dead 1 back. You don't see those every day. Walking Dead 1 you can get.
Dude, that's a hard book. Like, I don't even see them on eBay. That's the first
Here's
time I've
the
ever
deal,
seen one.
Like Walking Dead #1, and I'm not crapping on your purchase because it was a great purchase. I'm sure it was a good price, and that booth was great to work with. But realistically, that book probably will decline in value within about 10 years. If they don't do anything with that property, that book is going to go
They've
down.
got movies coming already.
Yeah, but they're fan service to existing fans. If they
Well,
don't do
yeah.
anything new with the
Right.
property, if they don't reinvigorate or reinvent or do something completely different, not just cashing in on people who are still watching reruns on DVDs,
Right.
like if they don't find a new audience for that movie, and someone doesn't, and that's if someone doesn't jump in front of them and take the zombie genre away and do something else with it, then that book's just going to keep dropping. I mean, I know I'm not the first to say it, but Preacher 1, anybody got Preacher 1 in their head? Like that book,
I
that
never
book
even looked at
tanked,
those.
and they thought that was going to be the next Walking Dead 1, and it fell hard. You think
Well, at the rate
Sweet
I'm
Tooth
going,
is
I may
gonna
not
hold
even
its
have a
value?
book in 10 years. So
I just think that was the only book or one of the few books that held value based off a TV show, and it's because the TV show turned out to be a phenomenon. Now, all these other books that are based off TV shows, they're quick flips. If you got one, get rid of it.
yeah,
Because once the show reaches season 3 and they change directors and the kid's voice changes to an adult voice, and some executive producer climbs into Jason's white van outside, and all the Twitterverse explodes, and then that book's going to be junk again. So if you got those,
Yeah.
get rid of them.
and see, like I bought that one. I didn't even like the TV show. I started reading the series when they started doing the Walking Dead Deluxe earlier this year. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna read this and see what the hype was about, see if it's really that good. And I started reading it, and I enjoyed the books so much. I was like, man, now I kind of want to get a Walking Dead #1 because I'm like, this is probably my favorite thing I'm reading right now. So that was my main reasoning for getting it. Plus, I got it for half of what a 9.6 is selling for right now, so I couldn't beat the deal. But
Oh yeah.
I mean, who knows? Like I said, with the way that I'm going right now, in 10 years, I may not have a book left. I don't know.
That's what's on my van outside. Free comics.
Free comics. Oh man.
Written just like that too.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
This is on the outside of the van, and the inside of the van is one of the scribbles that says "Free Us." Because whoever's locked in there, you just want people to know what they went through.
Shag carpet. I got shag
Yeah,
carpet.
free us, please. We're trying to get this disco ball off the ceiling, and it's just stuck. We're scared. We're scared for our lives. He keeps giving us these dollar books to read. I don't know what this is. What is?
Oh man.
But you're talking about, earlier, Golden Age is hard to value too, because you're talking about the purple label and how do you value it as opposed to the regular label. But Golden Age is the same way, because it might be a year since somebody bought one of that particular book
Yeah.
to know whether or not you're getting a good deal. So,
Well, Golden Age isn't really for speculators. It's for collectors.
that's true.
So you'll find that doesn't mean flippers. There's still flippers out there, but a flipper and a speculator are different, in my opinion. A flipper is just someone that is looking for a quick gain, and they're willing to do the smallest amount of work to maximize their profit in a short period of time. So maybe you get the book slabbed real quick and you sell it just as fast because it maximized profit. It only took you, these days, who knows how long it took you, but you tried to do it as quick as possible and beat everyone else to it as quickly as possible to get that product out there. But a speculator is buying when something is low priced, not when after already eBay blows up and it's $100 book. A speculator is buying low price or relatively low price based on what they think the book will grow to later. So even if you're buying like first appearance of Vision, if you're buying it now, you're probably not speculating too hard because all the heat's off it, and you're just buying it for your collection. But if you're buying, or even a Walking Dead 1, but if you're buying like the first Jenica back when it came out, maybe that's a speculation. You paid $5-10 for that book, and someday you're hoping it turns into $100 or $3,000 book, and you have to hold it that whole time until the time is right to release it. So in Golden Age, there's not really too many speculators because there's so much history already that we already know the blue chip Golden Age books, and that's not likely to change anytime soon. And most people who are speculating are already priced out of the market because the books are so expensive. So even if I thought that, say, the Riddler was going to be in the next Batman movie and he was going to be the featured villain of the Batman, right? Let's say I was speculating on that. How many people can afford the first appearance of the Riddler? That's Golden Age. Now there's a Silver Age version of it, but is that what you're going for, or do you want the original first appearance?
Right.
So because I'm already priced out of that speculation, then at best I can flip it. I can spend a crap ton of money on it, get it cleaned, get it pressed, get it graded, and then flip it for a short gain. But the speculators are priced out of the Golden Age market for the most part. They're still in silver, and they're soon to be priced out of the Silver Age market. And where the speculators go, that's where the market trends go. So they're already out of golden. They're falling out of silver because silver prices are going so high now too. And that's where you're seeing bronze and copper age keys be the bulk of the speculation market is in bronze and copper. And of course, it's always in modern because it's whatever the age is.
Like reaches. Like they're reaching hard on a lot of those.
Of course they are.
Nebula number 1, bro. Nebula number 1. If you don't get the hell out of here with Nebula number 1, what in the world are you talking about? Nebula number 1. That book is like literally less than $20 cheaper than her first appearance, and you want to talk about Nebula number? Get out of here.
Jeez.
That's why I purchased this one, because this was a book that instead of like doing stock market investment or whatever, like I knew that this was a book that would go up, and I could have bought a higher grade copy, but I feel like if I stay under like a 4.0 when I decide to sell this book, I've got a lot bigger audience of people that can afford this, so I won't have to sit on it as long as if I had a 9.4, because not everybody's gonna have, that book 9.4 might hit 40 grand. How many people's got 40 grand lying around? Not many. But try to sell something for maybe later on this might, if I get this bumped up to a 3.0 and it hits like $6,000, that's a whole hell of a lot easier to sell.
Yeah, but those collectors are still alive and still kicking. The what's driving that book are people my age. It's your 40-year-olds that are driving the price of that book. And the reason for that is because we grew up on the X-Men cartoon as kids, and we had Wolverine shoved down our throats, and we loved it. We thought it was great, And so, kind of like Jean Grey did for a while there. So what happened?
I was literally sitting here holding.
I was leaving it out there. Nobody picked it up, so I picked it up myself. So,
here comes the low hanging.
I was setting you guys up, man. I put the ball on a tee, and everyone just like staring at it, like, when's it gonna move? So I hit it myself. All right. But basically, it's that group that is pushing that market for that book. So what you have to ask yourself is, what property are the kids into now, say that are between the ages of 10 and 15, that they're going to remember and have a nostalgia for in 20 years when they're 35 to 40? What is it? And it may not be in comics like it was for us.
Yeah.
It could be in video games. That's why when I see people grading video games, I think that's smart, because that group of kids that are 10 to 15, they're playing a lot of video games.
Right.
So I think if they get, a copy like Call of Duty, the first Call of Duty video game, that to me could be something down the road. If I was going to speculate on what kind of properties are going to pop in 20 years, it's going to be whatever 10-year-old kids are into right now.
Yeah.
And whatever the derivative property of that ends up hopefully making it to cinema or blowing
NFTs,
up.
Man. It's all about the NFTs, man. The NFTs.
Kids don't know. A 10-year-old doesn't know what an NFT is.
Not yet. Those things, I know people love them. I just cannot understand it. I saw somebody showing off the other day on Facebook. Got my first NFT statue, Captain America. And I'm like,
show it on their phone.
I'm looking at these pictures and I'm like, I'm looking at these pictures and I went, click. And I put it in the chat. I was like, hey, I got the same one you got. I was like, it's even in the same room. Come on, bro. I just can't.
All right, fellas. I'm out. I'll see y'all later. I gotta do some things and head over to another place. So I will see you guys here in a little bit.
Oh, there's another chat starting. I see what it is.
I gotta go with my son, and he's playing Fortnite right now, and then
Fortnite. There's no one.
Yeah, Fortnite. Yeah, I know, right? All right, later, guys.
Later, man.
See ya.
But yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, who knows? I mean, the video game stuff might be the next big thing, but
could be. I don't even know what kids are playing right now. I don't have a 10-year-old, so I don't know.
I have a hard
Jason's
time.
got a few locked in a van. Jason, are you? What do you give him to play with? Wait, don't tell me what you give him to play with. I just want to know. Like, you've got a few kids though, right? Don't you have kids around that age?
No.
You don't have any youngsters?
Well,
grandkids?
I've got the 3 and the 2-year-old, and then the next oldest one's 15. So.
Oh yeah, 15 is perfect. So yeah, okay. So like, what original property is big to your 15-year-old?
Hunting. Yeah, he doesn't care a lick about anything.
That's a good boy right there.
And my older 2 boys, and the girl included, they're all that way too. Now the 3-year-old, he loved going to Comic-Con. He knows all the characters. He picks up my trades and he reads it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but he still likes you. It's
right.
Early. It's early yet. You got a 15-year-old. You know that's going to change.
Yes. I know. But yeah, but you're right. I mean, I think that for comic books to remain viable, whether in floppy form, in graphic novel, or non-fungible tokens, whatever, they're going to have to come up and take risk with new properties. And the big 2 in particular are not going to take risk on anything because it costs too much money. If you think back to the Bronze and the Copper Age, how many titles were started that flopped? Characters we don't even remember the names of, right? But they would insert known properties like X-Men and Spider-Man, there would always be those crossovers. They were trying to feed people buying that book just because they like Spider-Man, not because they necessarily like Darkhawk or knew who Darkhawk was. And some of the properties stuck, some of them didn't. But now they have that IP and they can do something with it. And they also have that nostalgic value to drive people to theaters or to drive people to buy sneakers or whatever. But they don't want to do any of that. That's why everything's a derivative of something else. What's the last original property that Marvel's created that's not a derivative of something else?
Well, I was going to say a few, but they're kind of just female versions of original properties.
Well, I mean, you say Miles Morales. That's Spider-Man.
No, that's a derivative. Who said Miles Morales?
No, I was just thinking. I mean, if you think about a big property that Marvel's come out with, and you say, okay, Miles Morales, but he's just Spider-Man.
Probably Captain Marvel, even though she stole her name and her power set, and it's just kind of one of those magical creatures that can do anything the plot needs. I'd say probably Captain Marvel was the last, and they did that really to supplant Spider-Man as the leader of the Marvel universe. So
right, and they didn't do a good job at it.
No, but they tried real hard.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and she's made it to the movies, and she's she's there. So.
Yeah, but I don't know how long she's going to be there because I think that I think they're going to do something with Rogue, similar to the way they did the Avengers Annual, and use that as a way to get Brie Larson out.
It may be, but I think they're going to probably move it to someone else. There will be a Captain Marvel that is female going forward. Yeah.
Well, you got the Marvels that's going to come out. They renamed that property to the Marvels, and so you're going to have Kamala Khan. So there's your female, and she's a minority on top of that. So.
Do you think they'll move all of the current Avengers out and bring in the young Avengers?
Yeah. I think at some point the original Avengers will I don't know if they'll be the young Avengers necessarily, but the original Avenger team that the MCU kind of built and then was built on going forward was they'll be all phased out. There'll be nothing but cameos and memories.
And see, that's what I thought you would say. So like my question is then like, so how lackluster will that make it be when they do bring the X-Men in and you don't have the Hulk there to have the Wolverine fight or
but I think
stuff like that? I mean,
I think they're going to move
Wolverine
into
versus
that.
Hulkling.
Well, I mean, as comic fans, we're looking for classic matchups, but they'll have renewed matchups all the time. They can put a Wolverine versus Amadeus Cho Hulk, totally awesome Hulk. Or they can do a X-23 as Wolverine against, a totally awesome Hulk. They're contemporaries. And then they may even, for fan service, show a nice big scene where there's a Wendigo in the background because we don't have Wendigo in the MCU yet. So they can do a little bit of fan service and kind of duplicate, and, try and make it look kind of like the original. And kids aren't going to care, and adults aren't going to care, and only us, get off my lawn guys are really going to care very much. So, but yeah, I mean, that's the whole, you're talking about Marvel being derivative. That's the whole point. As long as they're derivative, they can constantly make small changes and still stay kind of close to some source material by just swapping out a few characters. Yeah, I mean, they can have Secret Wars right now with, they already had, the Infinity Gauntlet without key players from the Infinity Gauntlet series.
And Nebula,
so, major key players, that the whole reason for the Infinity Gauntlet saga, and you just took out those characters. So they can have Secret Wars right now without Venom. I mean, why not? You could do lots of stuff and leave out original characters. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, they're going to do safe bets, and like Young Avengers is probably more of a TV thing, and if it takes off, if people like it, they'll move it into a movie. I mean, that Disney Plus is now the incubator, so to speak, for future movie projects because it's a lot cheaper to do it that way, a lot less risky.
I was disappointed with the What If story, so I don't have Disney Plus, but my buddy Sean was insistent that I watch the What If show, so he gave me his login. So I watched a couple of them this week, and the only one I liked was the Ultron one. I thought that one was pretty cool, but the rest of them I was just kind of like, I was kind of hoping that we would get some actual What If stories from the comics. I thought that would be so cool. There's so many good ones. I mean, you look at What If #2. What if the Hulk had Bruce Banner's brain from the beginning? By the time you get to the end of that story, you have no Avengers team, you have no X-Men, you have no Fantastic Four, and Reed Richards, Charles Xavier, and Bruce Banner are all just team up together. They give up all their powers and stuff and just save the world that way. I mean, like that's an awesome story. Like that screws up everything.
I don't know. I think the bulk, maybe that one's okay. I don't remember it as clearly as you do, but most of the What If stories are terrible. Like in my opinion.
Yeah, they're not all great,
them,
but there are some really good ones in there.
There might be a few. I remember every time I picked one up, I was like, this is terrible. Because the writing was all formulaic just to get to the end where they got rid of, killed off, it's like a snuff film, kill off a bunch of characters. And then also along the way, they didn't really set any plot. Like there's no plot to those. It's just like, and then this happened, and then this happened. And every time I was done reading them, it always felt like it was a question and an answer. So the question is, what if this happened? And then the answer was always, well, that would suck. So I'm glad this didn't happen.
Right.
Because if this really happened, it would have sucked. So
yeah.
I felt like the goal of the What If franchise or runs was always to make you feel like, aren't you glad we didn't do this? Aren't you glad we didn't do this story? Because look at all the characters that would be dead and look at how everything would have turned out. Like you should be glad we didn't do this. So
yeah.
Some of them are interesting,
that's actually
but
how they did read for sure.
Yeah. It's like they want you to be glad.
If you get a chance. It #2. It was definitely my favorite one for sure. I think that was absolutely the standout one for me out of all the ones I've read. And I've read a bunch of them. I think Volume 2 is a little better reads. I think they did a little better job with it.
Volume 1's rough.
Mm-hmm.
Volume 2, there are some better ones in there.
Yeah.
And there's certainly some interesting covers and some good premises going on. But when you read through them, they get a little rough.
Yeah. And I a lot of them, that's what got me started on it, was the covers on a lot of them. I loved them, like the Wolverine and Hulk one, #31. I've got I buy those every time I can, trying to find one that I think will grade a 9.8. I got like 6 of them now, and none of them are going to. But for some reason, I keep holding on to them. But
it's all good.
But yeah, I mean, there's some good ones, but a lot of Volume 1 is just kind of like, huh? The Invaders one, that one was really rough. Even the first one wasn't all bad. I mean, by the end of it, what's her name? The Invisible Woman runs off with Namor, and like, okay, well, that's pretty much been a plot story for how long with her and Namor? When is she going to run off with him? But, I mean, I don't know. We did get Sabretooth and Iron Fist 14, so that's a win.
Where'd that come out?
Yeah, that was kind of random.
They used to be my shtick here, where like no matter what we were talking about when we did our top 10s, like I always would find a way to get Sabretooth into a conversation and on the list when he should not have been, whether it was top 10 Spider-Man covers, Daredevil. I have Sabretooth on those covers, and I would show them off. And
so were you not going to do a standard Babylon tonight? Did the program get canceled, or was Nick unavailable, or what happened?
Yeah, Nick's been sick all week.
We had Justin in here, so.
Yeah, Nick's been sick all week, and then my kid had a baseball game that got rescheduled for tonight. It was a makeup game, but then I don't know, like 6 of the kids' parents wasn't going to bring them, so we had to forfeit the game. So I was just going to cancel it because I had a game tonight. Nick was sick. Justin was hanging out with his kids. And then when the game got canceled, my wife and kid decided they were going to go to bed. So I was like, well, I'm going to jump on here and see if anybody wants to hang out. So, but yeah, that was pretty much it. But talking about Sabretooth, that's a character I hope they don't screw up.
Wait, what happened?
That's a character I hope they don't screw up again.
Oh,
I liked him in the first X-Men. I thought that was the best representation of him, was the original X-Men run of movies. I thought having a wrestler just, with black eyes and just black eyes going like, I I thought that was great. I thought that
he
was
looked
way
great,
better.
but we just didn't get enough of him. I didn't think. Personally, I didn't see enough of him, and I liked the character portrayal in the Wolverine movie. I hated the look. Like I thought the
I
guy
didn't
was
like that they made
menacing.
them brothers. I thought that was stupid.
Yeah, I thought that was dumb, but I thought as Sabretooth, he was menacing enough, and I thought that the character was written good, but he didn't look good. I didn't like the brothers thing, but
Yeah, I agree.
I thought he was definitely menacing enough because Sabretooth's one of those characters I think it's going to be hard for the MCU to do because to get him correct, like he's like they'd have to be rated R because I mean he's the guy that walks into a bar on Wolverine's birthday, kills everybody for fun just to piss off Logan, and now we can fight. And
yeah, I don't think that they're going to bother with him. I think that the X-Men won't do much with the original team, honestly. I think, or even the new team, whatever, the Claremont team, I think they're going to avoid all that. And they're just going to say, who are the X-Men today and what can we do with them? And they're not going to really get into the history of them or their creation. I think they're just going to, they might even, if they wanted to do an MCU style movie, do a couple of, origin story movies instead, and then have them join the X-Men all together. They might even do that. They might do to me, I could see an Iceman movie, which I'm not a big Iceman fan. He's all right. I like playing him in video games. But right now, I think Iceman is like a gay dude or something.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I hope they don't do that.
But wouldn't that be a perfect, Disney kind of Marvel move to be like, hey, we're going to come out with Iceman. And then that's the version of Iceman you get. Yeah. And it is what it is, right? You like it or you don't.
And unless you're like a comic book person like us, I mean, most people don't even recognize Iceman was even a part of the X-Men. I mean, if they weren't on that 90s cartoon, nobody even really knows who they are for the general public. So
that's true.
But, Nick.
But I don't think they fool with Magneto and all that. Yeah. I think they pretty much just avoid all that and they do a modern, whoever the current X-Men group is right now. I think, and not the Hickman crap either. That's too complicated.
Yeah.
But when Hickman's done, I think when they're done, that's when they'll bring in whatever that new group of X-Men is and that new dynamic. And I think you'll see some familiar faces, but there'll be derivative characters, like you were saying, female versions of this and gender swapping and costume changes and kids of their, generation differences. And I think they'll take whatever that group is right there, and that's what they'll make the movies based off. We'll see.
Yeah, Nick's brought up several times about them just completely not acknowledging Logan and just doing the daughter, whatever, I can't even remember her name, but that'd be a big kick in the nuts to X-Men fans that are waiting for these movies. Boy, I tell you what.
I don't know. I mean, haven't we seen enough? I mean, we had our run of movies. I don't feel. I guess I know I'm different in that. A lot of people get real upset, but I'm like, for people who don't like the old versions of a character, you're allowed to not like that they took your character away, but there's so much to read and to reread and to go back and enjoy. You had 30 years of Iceman being straight. If the only way you can get excited over Iceman is if he's pointing it at a woman, then you got 30 years of that. So let somebody else get excited about him for some other reason. That's fine. I don't care. But it does stink when your character, if it's the one you really loved, got changed so much or killed or something like that. Then yeah, that sucks. But as far as the X-Men movies go, how many did we get?
Yeah, but you know what we didn't get? There's one thing we didn't get, Bubs, and this is what would really, really suck if we never get to see it. The costume, bro. We never got to see the costume.
I know, but you're still not going to see. I mean,
you don't think that?
I'm sorry, but the MCU versions of the costumes aren't. Some of them are true. I think Andy Park is doing a good job creating the costumes for these characters.
I think the Cap ones were great. I think Iron Man looked good.
Yeah. The Scarlet Witch one looks good from the series. I thought Vision looked pretty good.
Black Panther was phenomenal. I mean, it was an updated, cooler look, but it still stayed so true to the original. But they brought just enough to make it hip and cool for everybody. But I mean, I think that they could find a way. If they made Captain America's suit look good, still they could make Yellow and.
So what do you think about if they? So what if you get X-23 as the new Wolverine in that costume? That doesn't do it for you?
No, I don't think so, man.
I don't think so either. I agree. I mean, I'm a Wolverine fan. I'd love to see any of his classic costumes on screen.
Yeah,
but just never happened.
Yeah, I think Wolverine, that guy right there, and I want Gray Beast.
I want a nice short Wolverine too, a nice short little round bulldog looking, just angry little gruff dude. That'd be awesome.
You're in Atlanta too, man. Go apply for the role. It might be
there. They probably cast him as Sabretooth. Ask him to grunt.
Wouldn't that be a dream come true?
Yeah, maybe.
I'd have to wear my lifts.
But I mean, I think Wolverine's a big enough character. They're going to try to put him in there. Now, is it Old Man Logan? I don't know. I mean, and I'm all for characters moving on and characters progressing. It's when they do it right. I feel like they did Flash, Barry Allen Flash back in the day. They did it right. He went out fighting, and it was good. Why they brought him back, who only knows. I think that Wolverine dying, I was even fine with Wolverine dying and people moving towards that place of trying to replace him. But then they can't leave well enough alone. They have to bring them back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you think we'll see Wolverine in the MCU like a classic? I mean, is it still going to be the same? Unless I don't know. I can see something like Days of Future Past ish going on, where you see maybe even Hugh Jackman show up as an older Wolverine in costume, just to make everybody happy for that. When he finally sees, like, you know, Laura Kinney or whatever, X-23 running, and he's like, if you ever read that Generations book, have you read the Generations books?
Yeah.
Like, so read, if you even digitally, because I'm sure they're free, or go to a dollar bin. You can find them all day in 9.8. But all those Generations books, which are absolutely horrible, every one of them is just atrocious. I think the new MCU will be based largely on those. So it will just be Wolverine to be sitting there, and he'll watch X-23 go by and say, she's just as strong as I am, but she's faster and lighter on her feet, and she's so graceful. And I always felt so brutish, but she's so beautiful to watch. She's amazing.
He'll be sitting there drinking coffee, and somebody will bump into him, and he'll just say, "Watch it, bub," and that'd be all we get is just like a little cameo appearance of.
I think you'll get some mantle handing off. That's about it. Is they'll say, "Okay, I'm passing the torch to you because I'm old, you're young, and everything young is better than everything old. So here." I think we'll see a little of that for each of those characters, maybe for the ones that have to be seen in their costume. But I mean, do you really need to see Professor X in a wheelchair again? Or are you good? Like, do you need Professor X in this world? Or are you good with it? Because I mean, he's had his costume. Do you need Beast again? Okay, Gray Beast. Nobody knows he was gray. Like, only the comic book people know that. People from the TV series, they don't know that. So I mean, do you need Gray Beast really? Do you need Jean Grey in a classic, Phoenix outfit? It's been pretty close already. She's done it a few
characters
times.
like Gambit, who we haven't seen really. I mean, we got the
Gambit's a bad character for modern times. The only way that they ever show Gambit is if they completely neuter him and take away all his charm and whatever other things that, these days in Me Too movement. Are you kidding me? He might as well be throwing cards of lawyers because he's going to need them all to get in and out of that, session. They won't even be able to film it. So, there's no way. I'm just saying that I think Gambit is a bad spec. Everyone's like, oh, Gambit's going to show up in the MCU. Nope. He already had a moment in the Wolverine movies, and they barely touched on that portion of his character. Everybody thought it sucked. I thought the guy did an okay job, being him, if you will, but they couldn't put him in his costume because his costume is terrible. Like, Gambit's costume looked cool in a cartoon. It looks good in a comic cover. but it makes no sense whatsoever. What has he got? Pink abs and it's a bodysuit, but then he's wearing a trench coat and he's got something around his whole face and his hair. It's stupid. It's this dumb costume. But you know, do you need to see that on are they going to be able to make that on a screen? Is that going to make you happy? I don't think so.
And you probably wouldn't do Nightcrawler again either. For some
Nightcrawler, I mean, Nightcrawler was his costume was close enough. It was
no, I'm saying, but you know, with his religious ties and stuff, I mean, he would be a hard one to do too.
Probably not. Yeah, they won't fool with that either. I mean, and they absolutely ruined Mystique's character. You know, I think the worst thing to happen to the X-Men movies was that the girl who played what's her the one that played the new Mystique, the younger girl,
Lawrence.
Yeah, when Jennifer Lawrence, the Kentuckian, when Jennifer Lawrence became popular for her other roles, and they already had her secured in the X-Men movies, they were like, "Whoa, we have an Oscar-winning actress. We need to make the whole X-Men universe about her." And nothing else mattered anymore. It was all, look, we have to build it. We have someone already under contract. How stupid are we not to build a whole movie around an Oscar-winning actress?
And
she's top billing now.
She's never been a good guy ever, but no. She's like on the team, leader of the team.
It's terrible. So to me, that's why all those movies, they don't all suck, but they mostly suck. Once she became the focus, the movies just dropped to the floor. Because she's not that great of an actress, and the character is not better than Wolverine. So good luck, you know. It just falls flat. And you're taking a classic villain and making them an anti-hero, kind of. She wasn't even anti. She was just pretty much all hero with a small chip on her shoulder that was planted there by the evil Magneto.
So, half the time she wasn't even in costume. They wanted to get her. You know, they wanted people to see her face.
She didn't want to wear the makeup. And didn't want to wear all the CGI stuff, you know, and so she got what she wanted. She can call the shots.
Yeah, and they kept moving more and more of it away. Like they kept making her more, even when she was in her regular blue form, instead of all the stuff and prosthetics, they just started just basically painting her blue and putting like a scale here and a scale here because she had to be seen, you know. I don't know.
She kept getting prettier and prettier, which is not really like
didn't make sense. I don't know. So I feel like that kind of hurt.
Do you think we'll see Ghost Rider? And if we do,
I don't think there's any reason to see original Ghost Rider again.
I was going to say, do you think it'll be like a Robbie Reyes with the Challenger? Because that's what's hot now is like, you know, the new Challengers. Everybody loves.
Well, that's one of the things that aggravates me with the TV shows is that Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. occurs in the MCU. Now, you can say, well, it's the TV version, so it doesn't count. But so far, everything else has transferred over. And the Netflix shows occur in the MCU too, as far as timeline goes. Now, so when people say we haven't seen Daredevil in the MCU, no, but we've seen the MCU in Daredevil. Like it has gone one way, it just hasn't gone the other way. But we've had cameos and appearances and storylines in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that directly coincide with the MCU. So that really is the first, and so far until Disney Plus anyway, was the only MCU show. And we had a Ghost Rider in that show. Okay. So Ghost Rider exists in the MCU as Robbie Reyes. So that, to me, they have to do away with that character and say, well, now there's another Ghost Rider. I don't think they fool with it. Not for a property that already had two basic flops, you know. I don't think that they even fool with that character. And there's no nostalgic child, you know, we didn't grow up as kids with Ghost Rider and watching Ghost Rider on TV or anything. So yeah, I don't think they fool with it.
So do you think because obviously, you know, unfortunately we know the Black Panther is going to be handed over more than likely to Shuri, it looks like. I mean, do you think with Endgame that we pretty much seen the last of what we know as our teams in the MCU, and just this new shift to all these newer characters, these younger, hipper characters that we're going to see?
I don't think they bothered to do a hard stop. I mean, look at it like this. We got a Wanda show, Wanda and Vision, two characters that aren't original Avengers, and honestly, nobody gave two craps about what happened after Endgame for that set of people. But we still got a show out of it. And then you've got Loki, who dies and comes back to life in every Avengers movie, and he gets a show. Like, are we not done with Loki? Why do we still have new Loki seasons coming out? Who gives a crap about Loki anymore? That's done. You know, so what are they going to bring Thanos back? I don't know, maybe. But when it comes down to it, I don't think that they have to do a hard stop. Hell, we got a Black Widow movie after we watched her die.
Yeah.
We watched her die. And we got a Black Widow movie that was set in the past. Why? So they could set up, I guess, whatever her name is, YOLO, Bololo, or whatever her name is. Like, to set her up as a new Black Widow? Maybe. But I mean, when it comes down to it, they don't really care about continuity.
Yeah.
And they're not going to just stop and then say, and then 20 years in the future, we have this. No, they're going to make a movie about every one of those years so that they can kind of swirl it all together. And that way they can keep cameos going. I mean, they'll pay Robert Downey Jr. He doesn't have to come back as Iron Man in an Iron Man movie, but they can easily pay him a couple of $1 million and say, will you throw this helmet on and Zoom call us for 20 minutes and we'll put that in the movie as a flashback? Yeah. I mean, it doesn't take much to get this character.
Like as far as the team goes, like we already see Ms. Marvel taking over for Captain America. We know as the leader, we know Falcon is now Captain America. We're seeing the Thor, you know, the hammer is being passed there. So now we're going to get Jane Foster. That's going to be our Thor. We see Ironheart has already been talked about, and that's coming. So you can kind of see slowly they're phasing in like a whole new team for the Avengers.
Yeah, but it's a slow phase.
Yeah.
It's a slow phase, and it started from the beginning because we already have characters like Wanda, you know, who, I mean, she was a bad guy in Ultron, right? So, I mean, it's like you're already seeing it come out. They've never stopped doing it, I guess what I'm saying.
After talking it out like that, I mean, crap, I think Falcon might be the only male character on the team by the time they get done. I mean, if Shuri gets the Black Panther ring.
And you got Ant-Man, who's like a cursory character. He's a cursory team member. You got Spider-Man, who's still around.
Maybe he hangs around. But, I mean, you got Wasp. You've got Ironheart coming in, Jane Foster, Captain Marvel. You've got the other Miss Marvel coming in. You've got...
they're going to wait until after the She-Hulk movie is done, until after the She-Hulk show is over, and then they're going to have A-Force. I mean, everything's moving towards A-Force. That's my opinion.
What is A-Force? I'm not familiar.
A-Force is all-female Avengers team.
Okay.
If you go search for A-Force #1 too, it's popping right now. So I mean, that's what it's
that
moving.
Whole scene in Endgame, that was. I mean,
I was about to say you could kind of see it in that Endgame, you know.
Yeah, but it's nothing when you don't get them all and there's no backup. You know, like I think that they'll do A-Force, and honestly, they would have to keep like Paul Rudd, who is like a non-sexually threatening white man. That's like the best they could do. They'll do A-Force, and they'll have like Paul Rudd as the plucky guy who thinks he's going to get lucky with all these weird, you know, mutants around him, but doesn't. But he's okay with it because he's so charming, he doesn't need it, right? So like that's going to be the idea. So, and they'll have someone like that who's in the movie but isn't part of the A-Force. But I think it's all moving towards that. And it won't be long. We'll probably have A-Force movie within the next 3 or 4 years. I don't know what phase they'll put it in, but it'll be somewhere after the She-Hulk show is done, because she's a key component to A-Force.
Movies at all, or just stay on the show?
They may put them all in a show. I mean, I would think that they would probably do a movie, at least one, and then start farming them out to the shows. But I would think that there's probably a movie coming. But they may leave it in the shows, but I doubt it.
Where do you see all of it ending? I mean, after they do Fantastic Four and X-Men, I mean, do you think where do they go after that?
There's no end.
No?
Fantastic Four and X-Men, I mean, that's 20 years worth of stuff right there, and then they recycle it back to Avengers again.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
and they
say,
go all back.
can they keep doing it though to keep enough interest? I mean, we've seen a decline in a
Oh, I
lot of
told you
them.
it's not gonna. No, it's no. By the end of it, there will be more. You saying how will it end? It will end when people stop going to see the movies,
Yeah,
or when by then people stop streaming them or paying for whatever service they come on. But the quality of the movies will decline as streaming services become more important
putting butts in
than box
seats.
office movies. You know,
Yeah.
as box office sales decline and streaming services become more the norm for big releases, then you're just going to see the quality of the movies continue to decline because they can't bank without box office money. They can't really bank on big budget movies. So the budgets will go down, and the scale will all shrink down. And then what's the difference between a slow release show that comes out once a week for 7 weeks versus a movie that drops all at once? You know, they're making them the same, and they'll make the same money on them because it's all based on streaming service anyway. So, you know, I think eventually it will all just kind of devolve into that, you know.
Yeah.
And our kids really, were there any kids signing up to watch WandaVision? Like, was that a thing? No, they'd rather watch you on YouTube than probably go watch WandaVision or Falcon Winter Soldier or whatever that Bubba Gump crap was. Like, I don't think, you know, they're watching them do a boat. You know, Falcon and Winter Soldier for 2 episodes. They talked about how PO'd Falcon was at politics and you know, rebuilding his sister's boat. It was terrible. It was so good, and then like the last 2 episodes, it just threw it over the rails. It was just crap. Anyway,
Yeah,
I still enjoy all that stuff.
I haven't watched.
That's where it's going. I think.
Well,
Jason agrees.
I do agree. And I also say that I'm fixing to jump off here because I'm going to be at a toy show tomorrow. And
yeah, I was about to say it's midnight and a half here, so I'm about to roll out too because I got to get up early for baseball in the morning, and we're gonna go see Venom.
Jason,
and
who's gonna manage your overpriced auction in the morning?
I'm glad you asked. I will be back so the show starts at 8:00, and so
All right.
I'll be back or 9. No, yeah, 9:00. So I'll still be back by 1.
Oh, okay. Good deal. I'm glad. I like to see the tradition is going to hold strong.
Gotta hold strong, man. Gotta hold strong.
Yeah, so if you guys want to buy some nice cheap books, he's going to be running that auction tomorrow from 1:00 until about 8:30 the next day.
Not that long.
Yeah, no kidding. What's it called? The Saturday Cereal Bunch or something?
Yeah,
Saturday
the
morning comic cartoon.
Even though it's really more in the afternoon time.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, that's fine. I watch cartoons till they turn them off.
What's the topic Monday, Bubs?
I don't know. I think I come up with that like 2:00 Monday afternoon. I go through my collection and I pick a cover that I like, and then I think about a topic that would work with that cover.
And then you come up
That's
with
how I do it.
the alliteration and all that for the names to try to make
Yep.
DS as angry as possible. And
Yeah, all on the spot. Yeah, that's my job, is to aggravate the two of them into arguing about something, and then I don't have to talk as much. I just sit back, and you know, sometimes I leave the room and Roger's still talking. I come back and I'm like, "Yep, I agree." All right, back to you, DS. What do you think about that? I got a lot of thoughts, but I want to hear what you got to say first.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah,
Secrets told.
Yeah, true stories.
all right, guys. Well, appreciate everyone who's hung out all night. Glad that I could have a few people come on and hang out with me, so I wasn't sitting here by myself. I enjoyed it. So if y'all are still hanging around, you didn't hit the like button, do that, or hit the down button. It doesn't matter which one you hit. YouTube just sees a reaction, and that's good for us. So, but thanks for hanging out, guys. Hope you all have a good weekend, and we'll see you guys later.
Peace.